Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mountain Bike Q&A. I am your host, Johnny U. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you all had a great holiday with friends and family. I know I did. I went up to Maryland to hang out with my family and friends, and then we celebrated with my wife's family when we got back. But just a great time, and I got a chance to ride. I hope you all rode as well, because that's kind of what we do. I'm horrible at this, man. I got to get better. That 2024, I'm going to get better at the whole introduction thing where I sit here and yap for a minute or two. But that's neither here nor there right now. But what I want to do is introduce my two guests tonight who have become friends. I consider friends. I don't even know if they even remember my name. But they were the first two to ever come on this channel. We were talking about this. They were brave enough to just, hey, here's a guy who has 0 subs, and let's go in there and chat with this kid. And then when I started going live a year ago, they came back on, and here we are a year later, 2024. So guess what? I'm bringing them back. You all love them. I love them to death. Let's bring them on, ladies and gentlemen. Joshua from Chicken Sendies and Mike from RUNBIKEMIKE. What's going on, guys?
Yo.
Hey.
I'm going to need some more energy out of you guys.
Let's go.
There we go. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Hold on. Do you want to take a look here on the comment section? Trail Pimp. He wants the whole shot. That's the wrong podcast. I'm not stealing the whole shot. That's Mark's podcast. We got Trail Pimp in the house. Eric riding dirty. My wife wants the whole shot. She goes, Mark is going to have to franchise that. Mountain Bike Nick, what's going on, brother? Thank you for stopping by to say hi to these kids. Okay, real quick, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How you guys doing?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Okay. I got all that stuff. I got the nervous energy out of the way now. Got the nervous energy out of the way. Speaking of other podcasts, I was saying the segment and the whole shot, just to throw this out there real quick, before the year ended, Mark had myself, Joe, the Colorado Kid, Robert from Biker Bar Podcast, Jess the Maker, Mia from the Women's Mountain Bike Network. It was a great podcast. You should go on after this. If you haven't seen it, check it out. We all were just being goofy and playing games. So just throwing that out there. Okay, take it away, guys.
Go get you some holidays from work.
How were your holidays?
They were great. Nothing too exciting. It was good to visit with family and friends and all that. So pretty low key and enjoyable.
It was probably the first holiday for me where I didn't have to do a ton of traveling, which was very nice. Yeah, especially now that I am blessed with a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. Traveling is a little bit more difficult than it used to be.
Yeah, that can make it challenging.
Oh, yeah. But
nothing crazy went down during the holidays? You guys didn't talk politics and money at the Christmas dinner table?
I don't do that ever. So anywhere.
As mentioned, the 2- and 5-year-old, I'm pretty much the one running around and trying to keep them not injured. But that's, for some odd reason, kids love me. So I go from having 2 to about 6 to 8 around me at one time. So it's usually me rolling on the ground and we're just kind of playing airplane and stuff. So I don't really do too much talking to the adults.
Yeah, I don't have that experience anymore with a 14-year-old and almost 18-year-old in my house. So the little kid experience is in the past. It's weird. So I have a lot of friends who have younger kids, and it's like 2 totally different universes.
Yeah.
So Josh, you had to put a lot of toys together, I guess.
I tell you what, it's really nice nowadays. When I was a kid, it was terrible getting toys out of boxes. Everything was twisty tied and taped and zip tied. There's fancy little twist plugs you just pull out and the toy just pops out nowadays, and it's pretty snazzy. Oh, it's easy. I love it. Even putting stuff together isn't nearly as hard as it used to be for me. It's literally just snapping things together. I had this Piper got this Little People giant Barbie Playhouse 2-story thingy, It's like one screw and a bunch of clicks. I was like, here you go. I was a little disappointed. I was like, we're going to build
I
this.
hope that was in their manual. Just one screw and a couple of clicks.
But it was all in another language and it was poorly put together.
Probably as well.
So did you guys get what you wanted for the holidays?
Yeah, I think I did. I mean, I don't really ask for much.
Yeah.
I'm like the typical guy who just, throughout the year, if I want like a tool or something, like, oh, I'll just order that and be done with it. So when it comes to Christmas and people ask me what I want, I'm like, I have no idea. Give me a week to give you a list of something. So, but my mom bought me these really cool, like T-shaped Torx bits. So
yeah,
that's handy.
What brand are those?
Ari's.
Okay, that's not. They almost look like the ones I have, but I think I have
Walmart.
PD is what the brand is.
Yeah, these are just ones that I found on Amazon. And honestly, the only one that I'm going to use is probably like the T10 for brakes on a bike. I guess I could have just asked for one, but why not get the whole kit?
Yeah.
So like when people ask me what I want for Christmas, I tell them whatever you're going to spend on me, spend on the kids is what I do. But of course, that's never how it works and how it goes down. But I'm the same way. Like if I want something, I work. If I want something, I'll purchase it. But I was surprised with the guitar this year, which was pretty stinking cool.
Oh, that's a big one.
Didn't expect it, and I guess my mother and my wife kind of went into it and got me a really cool. Which purple's my favorite color. I got a pretty cool purple guitar, but I have.
Nice.
I wish I was a little better at guitar, but I do enjoy playing, and it's kind of when it's nasty out here in good old state of Illinois, it's fun to play. So I was pretty excited over that. That was cool.
I don't know. I've heard you play. I've heard you play. I'm impressed. Like I have zero skill at that. I played the trumpet in high school.
There you go.
I couldn't tell you how to play the trumpet anymore. So it's like I've got zero rhythm. So I'm impressed.
Full disclosure, I played tuba. So there you go.
I'm going to throw this out. In fourth grade, I played the flute.
Yeah, you did. Let's go.
I did. And I didn't play it. I was so bad at it that at the end of the year, we had a recital and I just moved my fingers and
That's like my youngest daughter. My youngest daughter at choir says that she just lip sings everything. I'm like, why am I going to these choir concerts if you're just lip singing?
To watch you move your lips.
I just want you to stop lying to me. Just sing. I have trust issues.
Exactly.
Eric Rodden Dirty says it best. Like, and this is everybody asks me what I want for the holidays, and I'm like, I have it. I have it. Or if you want to buy me an e-bike, that's great. But no one's going to spend that kind of money on me. So
everybody's getting those. I just saw Captain's Cog got an e-bike too. I'm like, good grief! Everyone has e-bikes now.
I'm done. Brian on a bike's in here, and he'll tell you I need one. I rode with him, and my lungs were killing me. Oh my God, who's Jeremy? Jeremy Taylor.
What's up, Jeremy? How are you, buddy?
Is that a buddy?
Oh, he's from the coop. Oh yeah, he's a good buddy of mine.
Is he the guy that comes up to your coop every night?
No, that's my neighbor. Jeremy's just a friend of mine that's been he's been subscribed for a while to Chicken Sendies, actually.
Okay, well, you can subscribe to this if you want. There's a little button down there.
You definitely show Mike and Johnny love guys.
Yeah, back off on Mike for a minute. Let us catch up.
Come on.
Oh, the Shed. You guys are buds.
What's up, Shed?
Yeah, we got some people coming in here.
Shed's the cowboy. Don't let him fool you.
Oh, I like that. It's a recorder, Johnny. No, it was a flute. So over to Josh real quick, Mike. Josh, you with your guitar, and I guess I'm all over the place. It's been a while since I've done this. I think it was Trail Pimp Eric. Somebody said you're good on a guitar, blah blah blah, and a skateboard. Watching you makes me want to throw away just about all my toys because you're so good at all of them.
I'm really bad about being like, hey, I'm good at this and whatnot, but it is pretty fun to. So I've been skateboarding way longer than I've been mountain biking. I started skateboarding in 7th, 8th grade ish. And it was kind of a way of me to stick it to the man kind of a thing. Cause a lot of the skaters were outlaws and all this, whatever you want to, so to speak, and say. But
smoking weed.
You probably find this hard to believe, but I'm a pretty nice guy. So like I didn't really fit in with that crowd very well. So what ended up happening was I kind of like isolated myself and started skateboarding, and it just kind of turned into this whole like challenge against myself. So what I really try hard to do nowadays is I only do things that pushes myself. So skateboarding is a perfect example. I don't really go up against anybody, right?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to improve and be better myself. Same thing with mountain biking. I don't race. I've done a race before, but I'm too competitive for that kind of stuff. So I'll look at my Strava times and I'll try to just beat myself. And I love being able to go biking and being able to skateboard and not have to really do it with other people. Whereas you guys are well aware that I'm a firefighter. I work 24-hour shifts. I get off at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Maybe I got a full night of sleep, so I want to go bike ride, and no one else could really usually join me because no one else like works the schedule I do. So it's nice to be able to go out and just do things that doesn't necessarily require a group of people to do. Now, I much prefer to bike ride and skateboard with people, don't get me wrong, but I can still just put in earbuds and just kind of go to town, which is nice. But it's just, I guess, just practice and just continually doing it. And I love them both equally, but I definitely am more biking now than skateboarding. But when it's nice out and like it may have rained, and of course around this area, the trails close. So if the trails are closed, but it's a beautiful sunny day, I'll go skateboard instead. So that's kind of how I differentiate. And so I definitely bike a lot more than I skateboard nowadays, but I've been skateboarding a lot longer. And like a lot of the tricks I do are like programmed into me. So they're just kind of easy to do at this point in time.
It's muscle, what do they call it? Muscle memory.
Oh, exactly what it is. And it's so funny because there'll be some days I'll do a trick and it'll take me 20 times. And the next day I'll do the exact same trick and get it first try. It's just, it is what it is.
I get you, Eric, man. I'm never good at anything, but I like what mountain biking did for me. I was never into sports. I always joke because my dad was a nerd, so I never got into sports. But mountain bike was a sport that I didn't have to compete. I just got to go do. Yeah. What about you, Mike? Are you a group guy or are you a solo dude?
I do a lot of solo riding, but deep down inside, I like a small group. Like I've got a really good set of friends that I've been biking with here recently that, you know, it's like there's 3 of them. So we got a group of 4. We know exactly how each other rides, and we know who's the strong rider, who's not as strong, who likes to do technical stuff, who doesn't. So we can basically pick and choose the trails that fit us all really well. And there's a lot of times that I like to just go out for like a mental break by myself, but then I like that social aspect also.
What about what's the weather like with you guys right now? Are you riding or you got a?
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. I mean, like the other day I went out and it was, I think when I started, it was like 27 degrees. And then by the time I got done, it was like 36, but you have to be really careful because if you don't get out before it gets above freezing, the freeze thaw happens. And basically the ground, whenever it thaws, it turns into mud. You don't want to be on. So you have to get out early whenever it's cold and just ride. But as long as you have the right gear, it's really not bad.
I'd say Griffin Bike Park just actually, I'm pretty sure had their first blue trail status yesterday, which is exactly what Mike just shared. It's basically freeze thaw. You get out before it thaws, and when it thaws, it's literally just soup. It's disgusting and like just tearing up the trails and stuff. But I did a 25-mile bike ride, just a road ride last week. It was like 30 or 35. It wasn't terrible, just a couple layers and go.
Yeah, that layer thing. I rode Thanksgiving. I rode in Connecticut. I wore pants. Yeah, like I didn't bring anything. I mean, I brought my helmet and gloves. I didn't know what I was going to be doing, but I wore, the pants now are kind of stretchy, but I needed it. My ears hurt. Everything hurt. It was that cold where your ears start aching.
Well, you're down there where it's always warm. So you've like acclimated to having super nice weather. And so I can only imagine if it got into the 40s for you, it probably feels pretty cold.
No, yeah, it was. I was riding with Brian this past weekend, Brian on a bike again, and it was 60 some.
Yeah.
And it hurt. My lungs were hurting.
Oh, man,
It's so cold
man,
for
you
me.
have gotten used to the heat. 60 and
We
you're
need to-
cold. That's
We need to
hilarious.
acclimate this guy. Come on.
I'd be like in like a short sleeve shirts and shorts and thinking it's summertime.
Oh yeah, you guys would be in a thong and a tank top, some
Working on that tan, baby.
Speedy V. I usually ride Virginia Key, Amelia, and I'm gonna get back to Olita if you are down here. And if you are down here, like and subscribe. Just kidding. Hey, we got Finland in the house, ladies and
What's up,
gentlemen.
Fractured?
Fractured. He's skiing now. Talk about cold weather.
Bro, Finland kills me. Just watching his posts, like they have snow for like 9/10 of the year.
Yeah, but have you seen his riding videos?
Oh, bro, he is so good.
Oh,
He
and
has
they're
some really
great
cool bikes.
trail.
And he reached out to me before he bought his Canyon Stoic, just kind of talk, because you guys know I'm a huge hardtail guy. And he grabbed a Canyon Stoic, and it was just fun talking to him, and trying to talk him into getting one and stuff. But yeah, dude, his trail systems he have out there is really cool. He posts videos every now and then on his YouTube channel. So definitely go check him out. And he's also he's a certified he's instructor as well. So it's pretty cool. So he's a good dude.
You didn't miss much. We just got it started. I was yapping for probably 15 minutes of it. Welcome. Aaron, is it Mountain Biking Adventures over there at Everstoke? You guys watch? We're talking about, we've got all these YouTubers over on this side. And we got 3 of them right here. Who are you guys watching? Who are you guys are inspired by right now?
My favorite channel, if we're talking mountain biking, is Sid and Mackie.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I love watching their stuff. It mainly for motivation. The racing that they do it's just unreal. The level that they race at, and I would love to be able to ride with them and see like even how remotely close I could get. I know they would smoke me, no problem. But
They are.
I would love to know off of like a loop, just see how far ahead they finish ahead of me, because they're incredible. And their channel's really fun. They do, in my opinion, they do the best job at documenting races, which is a very hard thing to do, because when you're racing at my level, which is like the lowest possible racing level you can get, right after the fun level, and like having a camera on my chest and like trying to talk and actually produce video and focus on that is really hard. I couldn't imagine at a pro level producing something like that. They do an awesome job of it.
Yeah. You're a racer. Have you just did one, right?
Probably. I can't remember what I did last week. So
just full of information tonight, folks. Are you preparing for one? I know you had a video of you running.
Yeah, I did. I did the BT Epic, which is halfway up to St. Louis. So, and it's a really fun, well, I say fun, it's a painful race, but it's fun in a painful way. It's 50 miles, single track out in the, my gosh, I'm drawing a blank at the name of the forest, mountains over there, not the mountains, but the forest over there, Mark Twain National Forest.
Oh, okay.
So about halfway between Springfield and St. Louis. So it's amazing single track. It's just all old school XC. I mean, it's really, really fun.
Yeah, it's all XC down here. A buddy of mine, we were riding probably a month ago, and he goes, I've just come to realization, because he moved up to North Carolina, and he goes, we're XC riders. There's no other way to categorize us down here. I mean, there's no mountain.
It's great. XC is fantastic. It gets undersold so much, but by far, wheels on the ground is my favorite kind of riding. Like you get to go fast. I love the exercise. I love the endurance aspect of it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a light bike. Well, who has the lightest bikes? It's XC riders. So
yeah,
be an XC rider. That's what I say.
What I find interesting though with XC is like we've got so much, and Brian could say something on the side here. We have some very technical trails down here. I mean, they're not easy. There's one, Olita is fairly easy, and I want to do a piece on that because I don't think it gets enough love down here. But Josh, I'm dying to get to Griffin.
So Griffin is one of those places where it is 100% cross country. But what Griffin does that a lot of places don't do is have the black and double black features. So the trail will be black or double black there, for instance, but everything is right aroundable. That's one of the best parts about Griffin Bike Park. And a lot of like, if you go to like more, I don't want to say legit because Griffin's 100% a legit bike park, but a lot of other bigger ones or more well-known ones will not have ride-arounds on the more difficult trails. So you can't like really pick and choose features if like you want to maybe go do a big feature somewhere on a specific trail. And Griffin's just growing. It's so well maintained. Everyone there is terrific. Of course, I'm really good friends with Rich Moore, who runs it. Just an amazing individual. And if you ever see the Santa Claus looking dude in my videos, that's who Rich is. He is just become such a great friend of mine. Between like, we're planning a trip to go to a raise here. I believe it's January 20th. It's either 20th or 21st, whichever one of those days is the Saturday. But we're going to be in Raise that day. We've already got the Airbnb ready to go and stuff. And I mean, we trip together, and he understands biking and he understands fun features, but he also understands how to make a feature difficult but safe at the same time. So there's like a lot of little aspects that go into Griffin in the sense of like they're terrific builders, and they're not building sketchy stuff. They're building very well maintained features that are extremely doable. And there's nothing at Griffin that I've not done yet. But like you go to some of their drops and like you stand from the top, you're like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah,
it's definitely no hammer down, don't get me wrong, but I mean some of the features are pretty impressive for being in Indiana. And
I was looking at your post you did the other day of I think that was the trail map of
isn't that impressive?
I was like, whoa, that's actually, for some reason I thought it was a lot smaller.
No,
but I was like, wow, that has a ton of trails.
And the cool thing about Griffin is like imagine like a big circle with a bunch of like little mini circles on it. And the way all the trails but one are built is if you start one, it pops you right where you started a little bit further ahead, not very much. So you can do the main perimeter loop and do all the optional trails while you're going. And you're just never really going to get lost because, you know, you just got one giant circle and you can do all these little mini loops while you're going. And they're all very nicely labeled. And I mean, it's pretty hard to get lost out there, in my opinion. It's a little overwhelming at first. But I mean, if you just go with someone who's been there, especially like if any of you guys watch my channel, of course, or if you guys I know you guys will hit me up to meet me there. But if I can go and meet you there, man, it's fun because you can be like, hey, I want to see this feature and see this and that. And I'm like, perfect, let's go. And I'll take you right to the stuff. But if you guys are ever around that area, it's terrific, man. Griffin is
speaking of that, Josh, I'll be up there several times over the next couple of months. So
you will
might have to figure something out. Of course, my girls have just tons and tons of volleyball. So I'll be up there and I may be able to escape for.
Please, if you can, man, definitely let me know. It might be time for Johnny to come say hi to them.
Oh, that's a video I want to watch.
Book the flight.
That'd be fun, man.
Book the flight. We'll bring an e-bike. You can ride it as fast as you want.
I get you an e-bike from Rich. Don't worry about it.
I don't know where Mike could get an e-bike.
Well, I've only got one mountain e-bike. Let's be real.
I know.
The rest are cruising bikes.
The amount of bikes you get is wild, man.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Great segue. Let's just dump it on Mike right now. And here we go. Now, if you all don't know in the comment section or you're watching right now, Mike grew exponentially over the year.
Yes.
Do you know what happened, or could you talk about what do you think it was? I can give you my opinion.
Okay,
I'm going to give you my opinion. You started cranking out stuff.
Yeah.
So much. I mean, you were always religious, but all of a sudden it just became like the e-bike channel. Or the scooter channel and stuff, and that's kind of a big thing right now.
I like the
everybody likes the electronic bike. I own one, or my wife owns one, but I really think the e-bike thing really helped you out. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the algorithm got a hold of it and it let go of it because whatever was going on definitely stopped. I mean, it's not dead, but I mean, it's just like it literally just was like going crazy. I don't even know how to explain it. It just like went nuts and then it's kind of leveled off. So, but I think the e-bike stuff, I've been a big believer that there are more people riding budget-friendly bikes and want to buy budget-friendly bikes than there are people who are interested in $6,000 bikes.
100%.
And I have a video. I created a series of videos of how-to, and my number one how-to video is about V-brakes.
Wow.
And that video is doing really, really well. And when I made that video, I looked in my garage at that particular time and I said, every bike that isn't mine has V-brakes. So the people who are just casual riders are riding stuff that have older technology on it that they don't know is older. So when they go to ride it, they want to be able to fix it or whatever. And if you look at Walmart, the majority of those bikes people are picking up that are just kind of getting into bikes, they'll still have V-brakes, hybrids, cruisers, things like that. Yeah. And so I was like, people don't want to spend $3,000. They don't want to spend $4,000. They want $1,000 or less. Like, I've talked to people and they've said that $700 is a ridiculously high amount of money to spend on a bike. And whenever they tell you that, you're like, okay, I'm in another world where I'm okay with a $2,500 mountain bike
frame.
Yeah, exactly. So the budget category is huge. And if you look out on Facebook and you look at the groups that are out there, these little like budget-friendly e-bikes that I've been reviewing, they have their own pages with tens of thousands of people on them. And not just about one brand. Like, for instance, Aventon's folding bike, the Cinch. There's a Cinch Facebook group out there that has 12,000 people on it. Wow. That's one bike that they sell. So these budget bikes are super popular. And Josh, you know this. I mean, you've been doing stuff on your channel about budget mountain bikes and things like that. They're just they are more accessible to the general public, and a lot more people can relate to that type of stuff. And honestly, I've ridden, $5,000, $6,000 bikes, and my $1,800, was $1,800 Rift Zone 1 feels just as good to me. Yeah. I mean,
it's all, I was saying this weekend. It's just give me a bike.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, do I feel the difference on my Izzo now than I did on a hardtail Rockhopper? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I bet you the majority of that is geometry.
Oh, yeah.
It's not necessarily like the fact that bike is so much more high end. It's just that you went from a bike that had an older XC style geometry to one that was more of a trail bike. Yep. And so it does feel different. And it's just like with these budget friendly e-bikes that I get, like, some people give me a hard time about it. They're like, why are you reviewing those things? And it's like, because they're fun. If you've ever been on one and you've gone to like the grocery store to like just ride your bike to the grocery store to not get exercise or not hit some sick jump or something, just hop on an e-bike and get there and be like, it's great. And me and my wife, we started doing coffee rides where we would go to a coffee shop that's 10, 15 miles away, and she would hop on an e-bike, I would hop on one, and we would just kind of casually ride there on a Saturday morning, have coffee, and then ride back and have a conversation the entire way. That was one of the highlights of my summer, was being able to do that with her, where with a regular bike, we would have had to have gone closer. We would have arrived sweaty. So yeah, I don't know how we got here, but we got here. So
if I can jump in real quick, just to kind of touch on that too.
My podcast.
I'll wait.
I'm just kidding.
So, I mean, as you mentioned, it's so funny to me over like the stigma of budget bikes, and I don't want to like necessarily like get into it too much, because I'm not trying to be that guy necessarily, but like at the end of the day, for me, I have yet have a budget biker build that I have done that I've been like, man, I am just really not feeling safe on this. That's not me. And I mean, I do different things than a lot of people do, but 95% of us on mountain bikes are not hitting Red Bull jumps.
Thank you.
We're doing cross-country bike riding with maybe 4 to 6 inch drops. Your Walmart frame you have will be fine.
Yes.
Personal opinion, of course.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that Giordano build that I did,
dude, straight up.
Yeah.
That bike was rock solid.
Yep.
The only reason why I got rid of that bike was, well, for one, I needed to move on to a different bike, but I would love to have kept that bike if it had a through axle in the back. Being that it was a quick release, I knew that eventually I was going to run into issues with a quick release, that I was going to have to replace that wheel over and over and over.
Yeah.
So that was my only complaint. That bike was a rocket ship, and it was like $600.
But now we have if you compare like a budget bike now to a budget bike from 3 or 4 years ago, like you're talking like, I'm not trying to like plug anything, but man, some of the bikes you can get from like Polygon or even Nuke Proof because they've gone out sadly, but some of the discounts that are currently on bikes to make a bike under $700 is mental. Like,
well, I just got the T6 in just today, the Polygon Cisco T6.
Oh wow,
$1,300 for a full
suspension, and
it's
got
the
a
same
through
frame
axle,
as the T8. Yeah, it's got a dropper post too.
For $1,300,
yeah,
it's wild, man.
I can't wait to ride it. It's going to be crazy.
And I think what Josh said, I think Josh said it once before. It's not budget. Cheap and budget are two different words.
Exactly.
You can get a cheap bike or you can get budget. I bought just a budget bike rack because my bike rack doesn't fit the Izzo very well anymore. And luckily, this kid below me, Mike, had done a bike rack review with some company, and I got online and I went to Amazon and I looked. I didn't go with that, but I went with the same. It's all the same. It's just a different name, different whatever. $150. I only carry one bike. Yeah. What do I need to spend $700, $800 on a bike rack when I can buy one fit and then take the $500 that I saved and travel to go ride Griffin Bike Park?
Yep.
You know, I just choose to spend my money differently. That's all it is. And a lot of these guys that are riding bikes nowadays, like, they're just starting. A lot of these people are just starting. And to have
honestly, like looking back at what you were saying, not to plug Polygon again, but it's companies like that and Marin. The reason why I like those companies so much is because during like the big bike spike of high priced bikes, their prices really didn't go up drastically. No. And both of those brands sell bikes that are higher, like a higher end spec. Yep. But like, for instance, with like the Polygon stuff, like the T8, I've been test riding that for the last couple of months, the Siskiyou T8. That thing is just like, if I would have known that, if that bike would have existed back in 2013, I would have been all over that bike whenever I bought my first full suspension, just because it's so loaded with, and for the price that you can get these bikes at now, it's unreal. And I think of as like a budget bike as anything that's under $2,000. Mm-hmm. And that seems like an insane amount, but I think that if you put it in that category, you're kind of locking yourself in, but you're not limiting yourself to what you can get. So hardtails, $1,300 and lower, you can get amazing hardtails.
Very nice.
Suspensions under $2,000, you can get an amazing full suspension.
Another like Canyon as well.
Yes.
One of my very first bikes I ever got, that was like one of my like very nice bikes. I had a Canyon Stoic. I'm sorry, not the Stoic. I had the Canyon. It's the one that switches. It has the shapeshifter. I can't think what that's called. But it was that Canyon, and absolutely loved that bike. And I mean, again, direct to consumer. And like another thing though for me is like, because now that I have a YouTube channel, like I am constantly asked, "What bike do you recommend? What should I buy?" That kind of a thing. And it's like, of course, well, what can you spend? And for me, it's after I find out how much money they can spend, I go, do you want to learn how to work on a bike? And they go, what do you mean? I go, do you want to work on your bike yourself? Because then go direct to consumer. If you do not, go to your local bike shop, buy a Trek, buy something else like that, to where if something happens, you can take it to them. I'll also go to my local bike shop to try to buy spare parts and things like that. If they have it or can get in pretty quick in a sense, I'll buy it off of them. In my opinion, saving $5 to $10 on Amazon, if I could support a local bike shop who treat me well and do stuff for the local trails and community as well, I'm 100% going to support them. But when you're talking sometimes $2,000 for almost the same spec bike comparatively to something else, it's kind of hard for me to recommend to pull the trigger. And I don't mean to that might sound kind of rude or bad, but it's just kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely
it
feel
is.
like there's a place for bike shops with what you just specifically said. If
Yeah.
you're somebody who doesn't want to do any wrenching on your bike at all,
Yeah.
that's ideal. Buy your bike from the bike shop because
100%.
for one, you're supporting them, and two, you're building a relationship with the people at the bike shop when you purchase it. And I know just from past experiences, whenever I bought a bike from a bike shop and I had to have a repair done before I really started kind of working on them, they were super happy to work on a bike that they know that they sold me.
Oh yeah.
And if I were to bring in one that wasn't bought from them, it was just like, we'll get to it. But you kind of get priority, it's like priority class. But if you're like, me and Josh and Johnny here, and you want to actually learn how to work on your bike, save the money,
Oh yeah.
Not me. Oh, I'm horrible on bike. I always say that and I got to tell you the reason how I found Josh was a bash guard. I needed to know how to put that on, and I found his YouTube page through that. But we had a local guy, Danny, Revolution Cycles. That's all he did. Yeah. He had a shop. He would just fix your bike very, very cheaply. He had a couple bikes around that he'd sell, but that's all he did. And he closed shop this year, at the end of last year. So now I got to go to your local regular bike shop or go to one of you guys' YouTube pages. That's what Mike, I know you blew up over the E stuff, but we're talking about budget. That's how you guys drew me in, and probably drew a lot of people in, is the how-tos and the here's how you don't have to spend a ton of money to have fun.
Yeah.
And you're still doing that, Josh. You're still doing that. You both are keeping true to your brand.
I don't really know that I ever had a brand. Honestly, I've done so much on my channel. If you look back at some of my old videos, I even have like chainsaw stuff on there and lawnmower stuff. So
what's the was it a propane tank or something that had like millions of views? What was it?
Oh, that's on my other channel. I've got another channel that I spun off because I wanted to do homeowner type stuff. And I how to fill a propane tank. Mini propane tank. It got like 5.5 million views. It was it was ridiculous. So
it was what was it with the propane tank? It was
like how to fill it. Yeah.
I watched that one. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. How to fill the smaller ones.
Yeah, super sketchy. There's specific propane, not to like derail, but there are specific propane bottles that are designed to do that. I have since then purchased those. So all good.
So the house is still intact.
Everything's good. Propane's actually extremely stable. I mean, a lot of people think that it's a really like volatile type gas. It's actually pretty stable. That's why they have them on the shelves at Walmart. So it's not as dangerous as what people think, but I'm no expert.
I have a question for both of you real quick, just kind of interested because we were kind of discussing just different bikes and budget bikes. So specific, like Johnny, for instance, you now have the YT Izzo, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you upgraded or changed anything on it, or is it pretty much stock?
It's stock. I've said this before. I'm the cheapest mountain biker out there.
You're good.
I ride stock until I find something that I need to change.
Okay.
I think I may change my stem.
So, go ahead.
No, you. Oh, I did. It's pedals, grips, seat. That's
basic contact point.
Yeah.
Okay. So basic things you will change because it's like something you prefer. Like you like a specific pedal, you like a specific saddle, you like specific grips, and that's why you do that, right?
Yeah.
So what about you, Mike? Same thing. Like, what's the most recent bike that you've purchased, and what did you upgrade or change on it?
Well, the most recent one that I've actually put money on was the e-bike, the Marin, the one that's right behind me here. I haven't changed anything on that, but if we go back to my Marin Rift Zone 1, my analog bike, The last thing I upgraded on that was a crank set, I think.
Okay, so
So
do you find yourself, so like now that I've been riding a while, when I purchase, it's almost better for me to buy a frame and build up because of what I like and what I ride, as opposed to buying a complete and changing everything on it. Like it's almost hard for me to find a complete with specific components that I like. So that's actually why I'm now riding a Binary Maniac, a very nice high-end titanium hardtail, right?
Yeah.
And I just built it up to what I wanted because I know what I like and ride what I want. But it's interesting to think about that. So like someone like Johnny, for instance, other point, someone like Johnny, you just enjoy biking, right? You love to get out and just go.
Yeah.
So you have a very nice YT that I've seen your YT. It is a beautiful, brilliant bike for the price, and you're just good to rock. And then like, I feel like Mike and I are just like tinkerers in a sense, where like Legos for me in a sense. Like I just can constantly change and switch and upgrade, and it's fun. But it's like for me to buy a complete is almost like a waste of money because I have a brand new fork takeoff, I have a brand new crank takeoff, and it's like it just makes more sense to buy a frame and go. And do you ever like feel that way, or is it just me?
I'm pretty good with riding stock, honestly.
Okay.
But I like the upgrade process, and I never did the upgrade process until I started doing it on my channel.
Yeah.
I rode the same bike for 8 years. Only thing I changed on it was a dropper post and grips, and that's because the dropper post went out and the grips were awful. So of course pedals, pedals don't count, so you have to put your own pedals on. So,
but the pedals that came with my Izzo were like the kind you get on your daughter's bike.
Yeah, little plastic.
You just throw them out. It was like I don't need this. I had already pre-purchased because I knew the bike was coming. But yeah, I can't do like you guys with the tinkering. I tell people now, if you buy me a present I have to put together, you might as well just save the receipt and take it back. I just had to put together a grill, a gas grill, a pizza oven thing. And I said, no more. No. I can't.
I love doing it. It's like Josh said, I was a Lego kid, and I even had what were they called? The erector sets where you actually
the metal ones,
little bolts and wrenches, and that was like, I mean, that would drive somebody who doesn't like that stuff absolutely crazy. But me, I was like wrenching away, and
I loved it as a kid. Yeah, one of those little rector sets with the little, and you got all the little screws.
Yeah,
and then you could do this, and it would pull up a crane and whatnot.
It makes me think of Sandlot to go get the ball.
I was great at that. Now that I'm older, I have no patience for any of that stuff. Trail pimp, we get it. You're the trail pimp. He's got to pimp out his bike.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy doing upgrades now, but before I didn't even think about doing it. I just rode what I had. But now that I've got the channel, it's like, oh, what can I upgrade next?
What can I upgrade? What content?
And then I got my very first bike was a GT Aggressor Pro. So, a budget bike. I got it for like $320 shipped to me 4 or 5 years ago. I guess almost 5 years ago now. And I don't think anything on that bike was stock but the wheel set, like when I was done with it. And then you look at it though, and it's like, man, I did not spend that money wisely, and like what I could have purchased and like what I know now compared to what I was trying then, and the amount of money I wasted. And gosh, it is what it is at the end of the day. And it's a learning process. And I guess for me, like when I make a YouTube video over something like that, I just try to make sure and let them know that like, hey, I've been there. I've made this mistake. This is why I recommend this. And this is why you should probably do this if you're thinking about going the upgrade option.
So educational, you guys, your channels. It's not, I mean, I like why you do a lot of the ASMR stuff. This guy,
yes.
How do you get your love that stuff? And I don't know what it is. I guess it's ASMR, but it's just like I could sit there.
So
just with that stupid face and why. And with Mike, I missed the time when you painted and you built the bike from ground up.
Yeah,
those were.
I thought about doing that again, but there's zero money in that at all. Like it's just, and when I say money, like you can't sell the bike worth any. I lost so much money on that bike. I think I spent on that. What was that bike even called? Oh, I can't even
beautiful
remember.
though. You did a great
but
job.
it was a ton of fun. But I spent like $400 or $500 on it. And I sold it for like 130.
Yeah,
like it was literally like I was just like at the point of no one was buying it. A guy offered me such a low ball price. I was just like, I just got to get rid of it. It's taking up room.
Take it.
Even like just bikes in general, the resale value of bikes right now, you buy a $4,000 bike brand new, ride it for 10 miles, you try to sell it. If you get $2,500 for it, you did pretty good. It's like,
well, you'll be lucky because everything's buy one, get one now. Like
Kona
GT.
I saw that sell. I was like, holy cow.
Bikes are going for nothing now. My Izzo, I bought it for 3,200 or something like that. And then the next day it was down to 2,600.
Yeah.
It's like bikes are dropping. I think there was another channel. I'll say it. It's Seth. He did a thing with he flips bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says it's not even worth it anymore. You can't sell it.
You're losing money. I mean,
you can't. Well, I mean, look at the competition out there. You have a decent bikes that are actually like $600-700. I mean,
very capable bikes.
Extradas are amazing. And there's the Bobcat by Marin.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
so many bikes that are sub 1,000.
Everybody, and I'm not sponsored. I don't have one. I thought about getting one, but everybody who asks me that's getting into biking, I just say go to bikesonline.com.
Yep.
I mean, it's a great place to start, in my opinion. Because like I know whenever I first started biking, I was looking at like a $500 bike. The bike shop convinced me to spend $700 so I could get hydraulic brakes, and that was a ton of money. So I was nervous that I wouldn't like it, and then I was under the pressure of like, if I don't like this, and I spent this much money back, how many years was that? That was okay. I don't even want to say that. That was a long time ago.
Baby,
$700 was like $1 billion back then. So
yeah, man, I get it. My first bike was a Cannondale, and I spent $500 on it.
Yep.
And people were like, if you wanted back then, people were like, if you want a decent bike, you need to spend at least $500.
Yeah.
Now this was 27 years ago.
And now I can honestly refer somebody to a bike that's around $1,000 that I know is a good quality bike that will survive the trails around. Because there's a meme that's been going around on Instagram, and it talks about like trails in the 90s and the bikes were like not suited for it, but the trails were like all hand cut and rough. And now the trails now are all like pristine and smooth, but we have these awesome suspension bikes. I'm like, the trails in my area, you could literally ride a super cheap bike on because most of them are relatively smooth. But if you spend $1,000 on a decent one, you'll have a fun time and it'll last for a while.
Yep.
Now, you guys are always busy, more so than I am with creating. Josh, you've actually gotten your wife involved in some of your Instagramming lately. So how is she taking the newfound fame?
So I don't know. I may have shared this with you before, Johnny. I don't know if I've shared it with Mike, but my wife and I met each other in college on musical theater scholarships. I don't like openly share that with a lot of people.
I was a theater major in college. It's okay.
Especially at the fire station. So yeah, exactly. But that's actually how we met. So what typically happens is I'll get an idea in my head and I'll be like, hey, Marley, I need you in 30 minutes. She'll be like, why? I'll be like, just come out to the coop in 30 minutes. She's like, okay. So like, if the girls are napping or something, we'll step outside to the garage real quick and then we'll just make the video. And it's usually like a 5 to 10 minute recording session. I'm like, okay, bye. I love you. And she goes, and I sit and edit it and then I upload it. But, and then I've also had to do YouTube videos where like I had Marley install a fork on a bike.
I love that. It was
hysterical. And like, that's the kind of like footage I love making, just like more funny, silly videos. But I also like to do the helpful and like try to be semi-professional in the sense of like teaching people how to do things. But like just making silly videos and like funny videos and like I've made a couple memes now that have gotten pretty good traction and stuff on Instagram, which has been fun for me. But no, I had the shed actually. He contacted me and he did a video with him and his wife on his channel, which is pretty good too. So
I'm gonna have to check that out. Now, Mike, we haven't seen. Are you planning on bringing the family in?
Nah,
they don't want anything to do with you.
No,
that's why you're putting out so much content. They're like, get out in the garage.
They're good. They got their thing. I've got my thing. Yeah, I don't think they have any desire. I think the youngest daughter was in one of the videos I did where I restored an old Trek for her, and I restored that for her. She rode it, I think, 2 or 3 times, and then once I got some e-bikes, then she started riding bikes. she wants a motor.
Yeah, who doesn't? What now? Do you? Oh, I keep forgetting. I got to mention Marty is from New Zealand in here. I think we all know who Octodad is.
Yeah,
Marty, crazy guy. Love him to death. What was your dream enduro bike you sold? Oh, that's sorry. I'm reading.
No, you're good. There was a comment up top that Trail Pimp said he sold his bike for not a lot, sadly, but it was his dream bike, and he took all the Gucci parts off, which that's the sad part. Like, you could buy a $2,000 bike, put $4,000 worth of parts on it, and guess what? It doesn't add to the value at all.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, but I have this $1,000 wheel set. He's like, well, I don't care. I'll give you this much.
I'll give you this
it's like, well, then I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, Mike,
people don't know the value of it. I've actually got my Polygon Sync line for sale. And
you did a nice build on that.
Yeah, it's a sweet bike. I love it, but I've got to move it out because I've got the Marin Team 2, and I don't need 2 XC bikes. And I put the Sid fork on that. That's a $750 fork, and that didn't increase the value at all. People are like looking at the actual full set retail price, and they're like,
"Yep,
you're almost as much as the retail price." I'm like, I could put the stock parts back on it if you want.
Oh, that's fun. You guys, I love the fact that I'm still religious with you guys, with watching your stuff. We don't go away. It's funny. We don't go away. Once we're fans of yours, we don't go away. And it's so weird how much I have to keep up with you guys, and then trying to find some new people, and then keep up with everybody. It's a lot of work, but I can't. I guess I'm having a little moment right now looking at the screen that I can't believe that you guys were the first 2 and then came on and have kept close.
It's definitely been cool. The thing that I love about your channel, and Josh can probably say the same thing, I bet, is you discover so many people.
Straight up.
Like, I don't know, the algorithm like just gives me the same people over and over. And whenever your channel pops up with a new interview, I'm like, I've never heard of this person. And I go to their channel, and they've got a good amount of followers, and I'm like, oh, they got good content. And it just blows me away how you're discovering people. That seems like the hard thing I don't ever do. I can't, like, I see the same people over and over.
If I go through just the comments, like Trail Pimp, I met from your channel.
Yeah. We
got Trail Monster. I learned from your channel as well. Octodad, I learned from your channel. Brian on a Bike, I learned because of your channel. I mean, it's fun. And like, if I miss a couple of your live feeds because I'm at work or something, it's cool just to go back through and see, well, who did he interview this week, and that kind of a thing. And it's fun to see that. And then the really cool part is I see these new people who you've interviewed, and now I have a whole new channel and a whole new amount of content to check out and watch and to look at. So it's pretty cool just to kind of like, because like there'll be one where I'm like, holy cow, this guy's like 50,000 followers, and I've never heard of him, but because of Johnny, I did now, which is pretty cool. But kind of like what Mike said, it's like, how have I never seen them before?
I wasn't fishing, guys. I was just, but I appreciate the kind words. That means a lot. Like JT here, the Dusty Dutchman. Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year's.
And the fact that you get to connect with people. I got to just ride with this kid, Brian on a bike, and I've ridden with a bunch of people out in SoCal at the Adam Mock's Ride and Shine. Have you guys had the experience or the pleasure to meet fans of yours or people that you're fans of and broke bread or rode with?
So Josh, for me, what usually happens is they'll see my bike and I'm like, oh, you like Chicken Sendies? I'm like, yeah, that's actually my channel. They're like, oh, it's you? I'm like, I don't know if it just looks a lot different on the camera.
I guess.
And that's happened to me. But I'm like, I'm not one to like sell myself. I'm not like, I'm Chicken Sendies, look at me. Yeah. But like I have like little stickers on my bike or something. And then they'll be like, oh, hey. But
Yeah.
it's kind of funny though, like when they do notice who I am, it's kind of cool. I don't got a super large channel, but I mean, I got a decent fan following, especially for the area, because I'll review a lot of the trails that's local to me. So like, hey, I liked that video you and Rich did at Griffin, or hey, I appreciated you doing some videos of Charleston because no one sees those. But it's kind of cool. I enjoy it and have a good time with it when they do notice who I am. But yeah, a lot of the times it's oh, you're that guy.
Well, now I know. Whenever I first meet you, I'm going to ask you that. Do you like Chicken Sendies?
Do you like Chicken Sendies?
And I'm gonna say no. I'm actually RunBikeMike.
Oh, that guy.
Start saying that.
Yeah, I had, as far as like that question that you just asked, Josh, it's neat when people recognize me, but it's not all that often. I find that the thing that I really enjoy, I went to a night race not too long ago. It was kind of a fun event, nothing too serious. And I had people come up to me and say, hey, I saw your preview of the trail, of the route, and I really liked it. And it convinced me to actually do this race because I got to see what the trail was prior to the race. And I was like, that's actually really cool. It's rewarding to see that, instantly within a few weeks, they watched the video, got familiar with it, and encouraged them to basically put money down to do the race, which that money goes to doing stuff for the trail system. So that was probably the most recent, like most rewarding thing that I've ran into with my channel.
I got only time, and I've met up with other riders, a couple others, but I was at a kids event, and I'm like, oh, I'll go there. It's a Virginia Kids down the street. I hand out some stickers to the kids, and I handed a sticker to a kid, and the girl, Michelle, she turns around and looks at me. She saw the sticker go to her kid. She goes, Johnny? And I'm like, oh, hey. She goes, I just saw the mountain bike Q&A sticker in my son's hand. And I'm like, where's the only time? And then, but not to pat myself on the back, but I thought it was kind of neat that like someone actually from the local area watches. But just to connect is really neat, I think. I'm dying to ride with you guys someday. And when I went out to California with all these different creators, I was blown away. Like you name the creator in SoCal, and I was in front of them, and I'm like, look at you, and it was just it was overload. It was so exciting.
Well, I went down to Bentonville for Bentonville Bike Fest, and there were so many creators down there. But honestly, I was just like kind of like overwhelmed by it. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to go in the woods and ride my bike. Did I just do the reaction?
How come mine doesn't do that? I have a Mac.
I don't have a Mac, so I'm probably not going to. We got to trick it.
Yeah, it does that. And if you go like this or something, balloons start going up.
Now you got to do it.
It's not.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got
now
Calvin
I just look ridiculous.
Hey,
there's a shred shed.
Calvin, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Nothing happened, Mike.
Here we go. This is going to come up at some point. How are the back trails holding up right now, man?
You know what? I'm super surprised at how well they hold up. I do have to maintain them quite a bit, but like the features, they're still standing. I mean, I'm not a professional at all. Like they're still standing. Like the one that blows me away is the one that I call Wild Woody. It's the one that's a really long ladder bridge. It's made of pallets. Like I cut up the pallets and then didn't even anchor it to the ground. It's like sitting on top of rocks so it doesn't touch the ground. The thing still is together 3 years later.
That's that really long.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, if it was out on a public trail, it'd probably be trash, but my drop-in line, everything on it is great. And honestly, the stuff that's wood has held up really well. The stuff that I've had like dirt jumps, I have to always fix those. But the wooden stuff is rock solid. I'm like, it's a great testing ground.
I wish I could have contacted you before I made this thing. Again, I don't make things. I did. It's really bad.
I think it looks great.
I love
it. It serves a purpose. But I didn't have any idea. You're right there, Joe.
No, I was just looking at. It's wild how many you have now, man. It's awesome.
Oh, I've got more. I got to make a video though. You have to make a video every time you do something. But I watched the video of you taking those pallets apart. I didn't know they had special nails in them to make it very difficult to come out.
It's insane. Yeah, they're like twisted nails.
I was physically crying the entire time.
Yeah, I built that. I tried to take it apart with a hammer and stuff. And then I was like, forget that. So I got out my welder and just welded a makeshift pallet breaker. And that thing lasted exactly to the last board. I went and pulled it and it just snapped in half. I was like, all right, cool.
Oh, here's, I had to buy a crowbar. I was crying. My sister's in the house. Everybody say hi. Pallet features last forever. Yes, this wood is like a different wood.
It's heat treated.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, well, you can get different grades. Like if you get a pine pallet, they'll fall apart. But if you get like a pallet that's designed to have heavy equipment or heavy stuff on it, it's made of like oak, and they heat treat it. So it's, instead of it being like pressure treated, it's just heat treated. Insects won't get it or anything. And it's not really meant for ground contact, but if you have it above ground level, it should last for a long time. Now, mountain biking adventures, I wouldn't do it out where you're building. It sounds to me like you're going to have people come out there from the public and camp and stuff. So I would stay clear of it. If it was a public park, I wouldn't do it. So.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. I got confused over here. I got two here and then I got a bunch over here. It's hard to do the juggling when you got my brain. Josh, you don't have an e-bike.
I sure do not. No, never have.
Now, watching him, have you been considering?
So for me personally, I have never considered one for myself. Now, I would absolutely buy one for Marley. Mm-hmm. I would 100% buy one for Marley, because if we go on bike rides, it's the climbs that remove the fun for her. The technicality is sometimes of the steepness of them and things like that. She's a good rider, but when it comes to stamina and such like that, she just was not able to keep up with me. But I wouldn't race ahead and stuff like that. And I was, riding with your wife. You want to make it enjoyable for her as well. Yeah. But I would love to purchase one for my wife and get her back on the trails with me. And my oldest daughter is almost to the point to where she can start coming on the trails and ride a little bit more with me and stuff too. But like personally, I've never been interested in an e-bike. Now, if I had one, I would definitely use it. It's just going to be more laps, more fun, and that kind of a thing. But for me, e-bikes are for a very specific style of rider and very specific area of riding. Like, to have fun where I ride, I don't need an e-bike. But an e-bike would make it a lot more fun in a sense of like eliminating the climbs and such. But yeah, I shouldn't say eliminating, because it's still work. But
right, yeah. So let me kind of chime in here, because I know there's a lot of e-bike hate online. So, my big thing is I'm on the same board as you. It's like I like the exercise aspect of biking. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what drew me into it from the beginning. I originally started out with a road bike, and I absolutely love like XC. That's why last 2 years I've been building up XC race bikes and just love that concept. But I also come from like a multi-day running background, where I would run a long distance one day and then a long distance the next. And you know how tired your legs are. And if you're in any type of training situation and you want to just go back-to-back days, you may not have the legs for it, or it may not be part of your training schedule. So if you have a really like hard day one day and you're out pushing yourself on a regular bike, you can jump on the e-bike the next day, get some really fun riding in, but not destroy your legs. And then the other thing that I found beneficial was during training for the BT Epic is I couldn't ever get like high speed training in. So I didn't have a lot of skill when it came to coming up to situations at really fast speeds, say like 15 to 18 miles an hour, coming into a corner really, really fast. If I were to do that on a regular bike, I would burn out a lot of matches really quickly. But on an e-bike, I could, go do 20, 25 miles at full speed, practicing high speed riding. So whenever I got to the race and I came up to those situations on my regular bike, I didn't have to slow down because I understood how to corner at a higher speed where I didn't have that experience on my regular bike. So I think it's like, for me, it's a tool in like a bike lineup. It's almost like a bag of golf clubs. If you're fortunate enough to be able to have multiple bikes, it's like having a road bike, a gravel bike, a mountain bike, and an e-bike of some sort. They all play a different part in your training, and you don't want to use them all the time. You kind of want to break it up if you can. That way you kind of get different training aspects in.
Yeah. For us,
if you're going for fitness, if you're going for that.
I also think it's good for just like the fun aspect. We got a few more people we got Joe, the Colorado kid, in the house.
Comments is popping.
We got Robert Beyond X. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Hill, the segment as well.
What's up, Seg?
Yeah. This comment section is just flying away. Some bromance stuff going on here, some comedy. Goofball. Just a bunch of goofballs in the comment section. But
hey, real quick, Octodad. I like his comment where he's talking about e-bikes are very good for enduro training. That's another thing that I kind of want to touch on real quick.
Touch away
about e-bikes is that you could, like, if you're going to buy an e-bike, like I've got the Marin Rift Zone E1. And the travel on this, I'm a big proponent of 120 travel. I really like 120 bikes because I'm an XC rider by heart. But this one it's a much higher travel bike. And if you can, with an e-bike, you can get away with having a long travel bike and still ride it like an XC bike. So if you're in the market for an e-bike, I highly recommend an e-mountain bike. I highly recommend looking at one that has a little bit more travel than what you would typically get, because you don't have to worry about any of the situations that you would run into if you wanted an enduro bike, like for an analog enduro bike, but your trails aren't really suited for it. You can ride an enduro bike on those trails and not feel any of the consequences of what a regular enduro bike would have with being hard to pedal up hills or on the flats, things like that. So go with longer suspension, bigger suspension on your e-bike if you're in the market for it.
Now, is that because they're a little bit heavier?
Well, no, because the suspension is specifically designed for e-bikes. Like all these, like this one's a Pike, and it's specifically designed for the EMTB. I don't know what they've done on the inside of it. They just put a sticker on the outside of it that says EMTB, and I'm convinced that that's really what that is. I haven't dug into that. But no, so the answer to that, I believe it's a 150. Or 140. I can't remember off the top of my head. All these stats go away. I've got the brain of a goldfish. I forget what I did last week. I'd have to look it up. But I wasn't really a big believer in that in that concept of getting longer travel on your e-bike until I heard Rob EMTB. He's overseas and he does all kinds of EMTB content. He made a really good argument for it. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. Now that I've ridden one, I understand that you don't go with like a lightweight one unless you're planning on racing it. Go with one that has more travel if it's just like your extra, like your other bike besides your analog bike.
Now, I just enjoyed riding one. I rode one at Sky Park. I rode the Decoy 4, and it allows you to have more fun. Like I have a friend who just moved to North Carolina. He tells me, I said, have you rode Burn Park yet? Because he lives there. And he's like, yeah, it takes me 45 minutes to get up the hill.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wouldn't you like to do it in 20 on an e-bike and just have fun on the fun part? You know, so I think there's a use for it. Like when I was out, I didn't even think about going up the mountain. And it's not a huge uphill anyway, but it's for someone who lives in the flatlands of Florida, I was just like, yay!
Yeah,
and just flying up.
They're all over down here and like an hour away from me in Bentonville. I mean, you go to Kohler Mountain Bike Park or the Kohler Park down there, and there's this long stretch that goes all the way to the top, and e-bikes will just rip right up that, and they'll have fun going down. But like I said, to me, an e-bike it's got a very specific training reason for me personally, but it's also one of those things where you don't always have to be trying to get a workout or, on a bike. You can just go out and have fun on a bike. And that's what an e-bike really is for me. It's just like, it's that time where I can go out and just shred the trail harder than what I could do on a regular bike and use it as another tool.
But you got a lot of commuter bikes coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a lot of budget bikes that come in that are, in my opinion, these bikes, most of the people on this channel that are watching right now, these are not the bikes that are made for them. This bike back here is what's made for them. Yeah. These bikes are really good. Like, I like to commute to work during the summertime. It's about 18 miles from my house. And having a bike that I can have pannier bags on and stuff like that, it's really nice. And being able to, go 28 miles an hour to work on a bike is a great way to start your morning. I mean, it's awesome. And but there's so many people that these bikes are perfect for. When we talked about like sub $1,000 bikes, these are like sub $2,000 e-bikes. They're the equivalent, but they just have a motor. You know what I mean? They're like the $1,000 bike with a motor, and some of them have pretty nice parts on them. I gave one to my father-in-law here recently, and he rides around on it, absolutely loves it. And it gives him a reason to get out after work and cruise around the neighborhood on his e-bike. And yeah, they're fun. They're fun. To me, they're fun. They're not my go-to bike. Yeah. These are back here, but they're just fun.
Oh, the e-bike is Uber Eats for me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I live 4 blocks away from just the middle of not downtown Miami, but where I live is just restaurants, bars, shops. My wife will order some Thai. I pop the e-bike out. I don't even pedal. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not like Joe here. He's world-class athlete. I am I am so bad. But you hop on the T&G twist and go, and I've got the electric. What is it? It's a big moosey one. It's got the seat on the back, so I throw the wife on the back.
We're going.
Yeah, hop on. It's got the foot pad. My hands are almost. She puts her feet on. She puts her hand on my waist. I say, "Hold on, dear."
Hold on.
Off we go to the sailing club or to a restaurant, and it's just the best way to get around town. And again, the wind in your face.
Yeah,
like how you're starting your day. Josh, are you riding your bike to work?
So, because of what I do for a living, it's kind of hard for me to ride my bike to work. And the weather sometimes changes. So, as mentioned, I'm a firefighter and I work 24-hour shifts. So, like, I could ride my bike in the morning, but the next day, especially in Illinois, may be downpouring, or I may need to bring some more stuff to work because maybe I'm packing my lunch and, eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner there. And it's so hard. And I only live like a mile away from where I work too. So,
look, let's not. I was in a firehouse a few months ago doing a story. I work for local news. I'm sure everyone knows by now. Doing a story on a female fire chief. You're not packing your lunch, dude. You guys eat.
This time of year is wild. The amount of sweets and cookies and stuff we get. Like, I am 100% going to be a diabetic and overweight by the time I'm 40. I know there's absolutely zero escaping it. Like, I literally walk in and I'm like, well, who brought this pie? And the next thing you know, it's gone because I ate it. I'm like, oh, crap, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Firefighters eat, man. We did the story right before lunch happened. And there's a bunch of dudes just, doing their thing, cooking it up. And then there's like little chafing dishes or whatever with the sterno underneath. And I'm like, this is daily.
And we got to eat fast. That's the bad part.
You never know what's going to happen.
You just got to scarf it down as quick as you can too. Like, you get 3rd-degree burns in your mouth and it's fine.
I don't know if you can see that. I've been doing that I did that. I ate really hot last night. And I can't stop playing with the roof of my mouth. I'm sorry. Totally off subject, but that's what's great about a podcast. I can talk about whatever I want. But I can't stop doing that. I burn my... Anyhow. So, Mike, you said you commute to work. Weren't you working at home at one point?
Yeah, I work at home 3 days a week. So, and then in the office 2 days a week. So, yeah, I love working at home. It's an easy commute for sure.
We're there.
Yeah.
Started back up.
Out of bed.
No, I
But
hate
they're
that.
in the process of building a greenway trail from my little small town outside of our quote bigger town. It's not a big town by any means, but it's bigger. And so eventually, maybe in a year, there'll be a greenway trail all the way from practically my house to
Wow.
the office, which will be super nice because sometimes it's I've had a few incidences that have been pretty scary because I have to take country roads out at one point. And yeah, luckily I have really bright lights and lots of flashing things on my bike. But yeah, I'm excited about the Greenway Trail that's eventually coming. It looks like they started construction on it. I can't wait for that, so I can commute more.
And you've got the Magic Shine 1200.
Yeah, that light's crazy, but I don't have it out here, but actually I think like 2,000 lumens to 2,500 lumens is like ideal. 12,000 is just absolutely bonkers. Like it's brighter than my vehicle lights. So it's
great.
Now, did that video just go live today or yesterday?
What's that?
Didn't you just make that video, the 12,000 compared to the 8,000? Did that go live today or yesterday?
Last week.
Oh, was it just last week? Okay.
Yeah.
I must have just saw it today then. Sorry.
No, you're good. That's the algorithm. They don't recommend.
Now, Josh, have you been fortunate lately? Talk to us about like your channel and growing. Are people throwing stuff out at you now?
I am. So we've gone over this sometimes. Like I'm really bad about selling myself. Like I don't really like taking. Like I've had some companies reach out to me over things every now and then, and I try to make sure there's like no like requirements. It's like hey, here's this item, review it and let me know what you think. I don't like doing this. Like I'll plug and stuff and be like, hey, thanks for sending me this. But I don't like doing anything that requires me to say specific things or me to not potentially give you my actual opinion over an item. So I try really hard to avoid that kind of stuff. But a lot of the stuff I'm getting, I typically have either already used or had. So it's actually kind of fun. So like I've ridden Tannis Armor for a little bit between that and another brand, Cushcore. And when Tannis Armor reached out to me over sending me some inserts, I was really grateful over that. I thought that was really cool. So Tannis sent me some stuff to use, and I have their tubeless tires on my road bike. And I mean, they're a really cool company. And so it's always kind of nice when like a company like Tannis will reach out to a smaller channel like me and be like, hey, you want to try these? I'm like, yeah, let's go. It's pretty humbling in a sense, but also like it makes me feel pretty good. But there was actually a pretty good comment. It's a little up above by the Dutchman. He asked a question over like, if we feel bad, if we can't like, were you gonna? I thought that was a really good question.
I was gonna put it up, but they start coming and
oh no, and so this is. I think this is a good segue for me to mention that. So Dutchman, thank you for putting that question because like someone like me, who I'm very fortunate that my wife's a stay-at-home, right? But I'm a firefighter, and we've been 8 men short the last year and a half, and we're finally getting to where we have a full staff. And last year, the amount of overtime I had, whereas if I get an overtime day, it's not like an extra 2 or 4 hours. Like I'm gone for 48 hours. You know, like I'm on for 24 and I'm supposed to be off for 48. If I get forced back or have an overtime shift, I'm now gone for 2 days. And then I get home, I'm off for 1 day, then I go back to work for another 24. So there's a lot of times where I get off for 48 and like I love doing my YouTube stuff. And when we get to 30, I'm hoping it'll be better. But like last year, there was a lot of weeks where I missed stuff. But I mean, I was looking at my last check that I just got for last year, and the amount of overtime I worked last year it's terrible. I mean, like I don't recommend it. And I missed a lot of stuff because of that. So like for me, family's always going to come first over YouTube stuff. So I noticed that in my algorithm. I noticed that in the amount of subscribers I got. You know, I'm very fortunate. I just broke 4,000, which I mean, that's awesome. I love that.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not subscribed,
a lot of the people like that, companies that are looking, they'll see that, oh, he missed 2 weeks of uploads and that kind of a thing. So sometimes it's hard. But like as Dutchman mentioned, though, like he was asking, do I feel bad over that? Absolutely not. I mean, I feel bad that I may have missed a video, but I don't feel bad that I missed it to spend time with my family because I was working, 96 hours of overtime or something that week because of life,
Yeah.
It is what it is for me. But to
I can
answer your
kinda-
question back to that, sorry, but no. When companies reach out to me, I love it. But there are specific things I look for in those companies. But how many emails have you gotten, Mike, that just have a bunch of like Chinese like writing? I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
even know where
Really?
you're
That
located.
happens.
Yeah, I mean, to go back real quick before I answer that to like what Dutchman was saying, I don't necessarily know that I feel guilty if I miss any video. I have a lot of personal pressure on myself.
Yeah.
My channel is, to me, it's a business. It's not a hobby. And I treat it a little bit different than what I did when I first started. It was a hobby for me and it was fun, but I set very specific goals for myself along the way, financially, where I wanted to be. And I stay structured. I'm a very, very, very structured person. My whole family, we have calendars. We share calendar. I mean, we are very type A individuals. And for me, meeting deadlines is really important. But like what Josh said, my family always is going to come first, 100%.
Absolutely.
And it's just a matter of like weaving your time around everything perfectly. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then sometimes you have to be willing to actually be able to say, okay, this isn't perfect, but I'm going to put it out anyways.
Yeah.
You have to be a person that's willing to fail 1,000,000 times before you have a good one. And you could be somebody who produces really amazing content and puts out one video every 6 months. And there's YouTubers out there that have millions of followers that do that, and their content is amazing. But you could also be that same person who does that and it goes nowhere. I'm the type of person who I'll put out a whole bunch of stuff and let it fail and figure out what I need to do to make the next one a little bit better. And it may work or it may not. But as far as feeling guilty, it's more personal pressure. It's not that I feel guilty about, not producing content for people who are subscribed to me or for whatever other reason. It's a personal goal for myself to meet a deadline. So, but what was the other thing you asked? Goldfish.
Oh, who knows now?
Yeah, sorry.
I do have something exciting to share that I've not shared yet.
Oh.
But we're working on it, and it's not 100% done yet. But we're actually in the process of getting merch.
Yes, please.
Nice.
So
yes, please.
If you're good with it, I'm going to give away these 4 hats from your live feed.
Give.
And
away.
I don't have necessarily specifications over it, but my thought process was something just along the lines of making sure that they're subscribed to your guys' channels, making sure that they're subscribed to my channels, of course, and then we can kind of work it out. But I'm in the process of getting t-shirts and hats right now made, and we're finalizing all that good stuff. So we don't have to discuss right now over it, but it was actually a Christmas gift from my sister who started this for me, which was even more wild because, as mentioned, I'm really bad about selling myself. So I opened this bag of just stuff, and I had chicken Sendies all over. I'm like, what is going on here? She's like, someone's going to be in contact with you. You're going to start selling stuff.
Oh, wow.
What are you talking about?
Nice.
And so now I've been talking to this gentleman, and we're fine tuning some stuff. These aren't exactly the finals that are going to be given or sold eventually. But so I'm pretty excited to start doing that and offering, because I've had a lot of people ask for hats and t-shirts.
Yeah.
But the shirts are pretty simple, but I love it because it has the Coop logo.
Nice.
Just
It's got that logo.
nothing super crazy. Yeah. And I mean, so we're working on that. But we have 4 hats that we will be giving away if you're cool with it, Johnny. I don't mean to hijack over that, but
give away, man.
So if people are watching this live feed right now and they are interested in entering, I mean, just, I don't know, the comment on, I'll make a video after this and post it on Instagram.
Okay, you can find all the
guys in it. We'll do that. And then
I wanted to wear my Run Bike Mike shirt, but it's in the laundry. I wear the hell out of that thing. It's actually a good quality shirt, by the way. I know you don't have any. Do you have any kind of control over the Teespring thing?
Yeah, I mean, I only select the premium stuff to be listed.
Yeah, I like that shirt.
It's like a Bella Canva brand, I think, and that's like a nicer. I think it's Bella Canva, whatever. I don't know. Maybe
that's a fantastic brand. Back to the e-bike, real quick, Mike. Well, hands down, if you were to sell an e-bike right now, one of your favorites. I know you've had like 50 of them. Which one was your favorite out of all of them?
Well, are we talking like commuter style?
Yeah, not mountain bike. Just
my very, very favorite one is the Ride One Up Prodigy XR. It's a mid-drive. It's $1,800 brand new, and it's just a super comfortable, quick commuter bike. And the mid-drive is phenomenal. It's got 4-piston hydraulic Tektro brakes on it, which is insane for a commuter bike to have 4-piston brake setup on it. It's super, super quiet. And they even make a newer version that has a belt drive on it, and it's supposedly even quieter. But overall, my absolute favorite brand that I recommend to the majority of the people who ask me what bike to get, I always point them towards Aventon. The Aventon bikes are just awesome bikes. They're really well made. They're sold all over the United States in shops and stores. Like Best Buy used to sell them. I don't know if they still do, but
wow,
they've got good parts on them, and they're just nice bikes. They work really well. The app works really good on them. I mean, there's not really any bad parts. And both of those brands are US based companies, which is really interesting. The best quality e-bikes that I get are US based companies.
My train derailed big time right there, because where I was going with this, and we went to e-bikes, but we were talking about something before, and it came back. My apologies. You all know how crazy I am. I actually were talking about people asking you to review things or giving you products. We know Mike do you have to return that stuff, Mike?
No, I won't do a review.
You have a new house? Did you
buy
the
only stipulation is like bikes online. I don't necessarily get to keep those. There's always something in the contract with that. But the e-bikes, I won't do a review unless they let me keep the bike, just because they don't pay me. So it's like, I'm not going to advertise for you or take my time to actually because even if I give it a bad review, it's still publicity for them.
Yeah.
And so the nice thing is all these bikes that I've gotten, I've found majority of them have decent stuff on them. I can be really picky. There's some that I'm like, but I usually nitpick them. But yeah, I like, if they're not going to if they're going to ask me to send it back to them, no thanks. Like I'll pass on that, because like I said, I treat it like a business. And if I don't get something out of it from them, there's no guarantee the video is going to do good. So if the video does good, then it's great. But if the video doesn't do good, then I've just spent a week or 2 weeks test riding this, building this bike up, making all this content, and I get zero out of it.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nice. I actually reached out to Mike a while ago, because I had somebody contact, and this is why I was asking. Someone contacted me about reviewing something, and I said, that's not really what my channel is, but if you want to come on and talk about it. And they were like, well, we're not really into talking. We just want to,
what a fun take on it though. Like, how many times are they like, listen, I don't want your product, but if you'd like to try to sell your product on my live broadcast, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine, as long as I can get content on the podcast. But
I love that.
Not really a reviewer. And I remember asking Mike, I'm like without a contract, or he was like, you gave a number. I won't even say numbers, but if there's wouldn't sign a contract if it didn't come up to a certain price. Like, what's the point in signing a contract if it's
that? And like, for me personally, not every company requires a contract.
Yeah,
some do, but I'm on the same boat that Josh is on with this. What he was saying earlier, he doesn't want to be told what he can and can't say in a review. And I've turned down multiple companies that basically, whenever I told them, I'm not signing this contract because you're telling me what I need to say in this review. I basically, if the only thing I want to see in the contract is that I will do a review video, guaranteed review video, or like maybe a short or a Instagram post, but I don't want any stipulation in that contract of what I'm going to say. So
yeah,
because that ruins the whole thing of being able to review a product and be honest. Like I could look at a bike and be like, I know that some of this stuff is going to be good if it has a Shimano drivetrain, but there could be something else on it that's not good. I want to be able to say that in the video without the company saying, I want to review it before you actually post it and I want to approve it. It's like, no, you send me the bike, you get what you get. You've seen all my reviews. This is how I review them. If you want to take the gamble and send me a bike, don't send me a cheap product and we won't have a problem. That's
like, I refuse to lose integrity just because, like, or, you know what I mean? I'm not going to blatantly lie and potentially get someone to purchase a product that I really don't believe in or enjoy just for money. Like, that's entirely wrong. I mean, that's the definition of selling out, in my opinion. And like, that's the exact opposite of what anybody should be willing to do. Like, I just feel like that's kind of pretty scummy, I guess. That sounds rough,
and that's one reason why at the end of my videos now, like the last, I think 2 or 3, I started doing a what I love and what I don't love about a bike. That way there's a section for people to be like, okay, he likes these things, but this fell short. And it's kind of a balanced type deal. Like there's like every bike, I can nitpick any of my even like name brand bikes back here. I can nitpick something about them that I don't like. And the end user, not the end user, sorry, I'm a software developer. So like, talking about end users here, the consumer who's watching it, like these specific bikes, like the ones that I review, people are specifically looking for that brand. Nobody's just going out there and just like looking at, we do with mountain bikes. Like nobody's going, hey, a cruiser bike, cool. Let's just watch all cruiser bike videos all day. They're looking at that brand because it came up on Instagram or Facebook and they're like, wow, I like the way it looks. So let's Google that. And then my video pops up. They want a legit review. And I think with the end of the video that I've been doing lately, I really like it because I can say good things and bad things and not be mean about it, but be honest about it.
Yeah, you're not. You've never trashed. You don't try. I mean, I've watched one recently where you were not as, you didn't like the bike as much. And I can't remember which one it is because you got so many. But it's honest. That's what people want to watch.
Yeah,
people don't want to sit there and just go, "Oh, he loved it." Someone sent him a bike. He loved it. Of course, he loved it.
Yeah.
I want the honesty, and I like the good, the pros and cons at the end.
And I've got a video coming out tomorrow, which I'm kind of excited about because I think it's going to be kind of a turn in something that I'm doing. I've had products for all of last year that I've been I purchased myself or I got sent to me, and I'm doing 5 that I love and 5 that I just don't like at all. And that way, and some of them you might be surprised. Some of them are name brand products that I just have been super disappointed with. And it's kind of a thing I want to do on my channel is have those like kind of real discussions after I've had something for a while, because the initial stuff, like for instance, with like the mountain bikes and stuff that I review, it's like you get it initially, you unbox it, you put it together, you're all excited about it. It's great for the first ride, but something may not go right 4 months down the road. And that's what I kind of want to start reporting on is with smaller products, whether it be lights or pumps or, brake sets or something like that. If there's something that happens as I use the product, report about it down the road.
I'm planning on trying to get into that. 'Cause I've got so many different things I want to review. Like I had the e-bike. I've had a script forever, but I didn't want to unbox it, ride it, and then review it.
Yeah.
It's probably got 60 some miles on it now, maybe. Like I actually want to experience it and then review it.
Well, you can throw your wife on it now. So that's what you said earlier.
Literally.
Not coming to
Come on,
video.
babe. Go to the supermarket.
Come on, I'm sleeping on the couch tonight.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
E-bikes, Josh doesn't do e-bikes, but and but you buy everything you do. Are there points, and I know you probably do, because you build something up, you like it, but then you're like, let's switch this up. Let's switch it up. Like, you're almost reviewing the stuff that you buy, because I know that. Well, what's the white bike that you just redid again?
Oh, that is my NS Eccentric.
Yeah.
So
you just redid that again.
Love that bike. I've had that NS Eccentric. I bought that frame from the Nuke Proof dealer. I can't think what they're called.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got it from them for like $300 for this frame. Had this frame almost 4 years now. Absolutely amazing frame. And I mean, it's been a bunch of things, but now I'm building up as a single speed right now because someone decided to steal mine. But that's besides the point. Yeah, I was pretty frustrated over that when I got on a bike trip, came home, busted into my garage, and stole one of my bikes. I was like, that's nice.
Son of a.
Yeah, I was pretty frustrated. So
did you see the video? Did you have a ring video where you watch them take it?
Here's the issue: I did not have a ring video on my garage. So now I have a floodlight ring on my garage, and it's padlocked and a bunch of other jazz as well. So
yeah,
there's quite a few there now. But I was gutted. I mean, it was, and like the more I thought about it, the more I was like, man, I had money into that bike, and it's just gone. I was like, gee,
nothing, man. It rips this. I watched my e-bike I had the ringer off. So when the ring went off,
you got one stolen too.
Yeah, it was,
that's right.
What was this? Really expensive e-bikes brand. I bought one.
Was it Rad Power?
Rad, yeah. I had the Rad, the expensive one, because it had a seat on the back. I throw my wife on the back.
Get on there, babe.
And what's funny is we were talking budget. I went with the electric bike, no E at the front, just as good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's
same stuff.
Like $1,200, $1,400 cheaper, and just as good for what you're doing. But back to you with the bikes. Do you ever feel like you're reviewing the bike, you built it, and you're like, it's not what I want, and then you go back to the drawing board, or do you already know what you want ahead of time mentally, and you're happy?
I've been pretty fortunate with like any of the builds I've had. I've never really had a flop build. I have had a situation to where like maybe it was a budget build and the frame didn't fit me as good as I thought it was going to, but that didn't make it a bad build or not what I wanted it to be. I just needed someone not to be 5'10" with a 32-inch inseam, and it was a good bike for them. So I've done some stuff like that. There's been a couple times where this is the first time I've ever shared this, where a company sent me a product, and while I was using the product broke. So I refused to finish the video.
Oh, wow.
Basically, I was like, one of them was a multi-tool. I'm not going to say a brand or anything like that, but it was a multi-tool, and the point of the video was me to take the entire bike apart with the multi-tool to prove how good of a multi-tool it was. That was like my entire thought process.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
I ended up breaking 2 of the Allen keys while trying to take like, and the thing was like the parts weren't like, I have a torque wrench. Like I know what I should be using and not should be, that kind of a thing on bike builds. And the first size 4 broke. I'm like, huh. I broke another one. I was like, yeah, we're just done. I was like, I'm not doing this. Yeah. But there's been a couple times where I was just
put this in the box and send it back.
Yeah, I was so disappointed, and I was like, it's happened 2 times that I can recall where I was working on videos, and something just went so bad with the product, and I was like, I cannot, and I'm not going to just post a video just to tear apart a product. I'm like, I'm just not going to give you the time of day. Like this isn't okay. Like I'm not okay with how this went down.
I wonder, did they say anything? Did they ask you like just go ahead and post something anyways?
Luckily, it was sent with other product. So, but the other product was like gloves and socks and stuff like that are kind of hard to mess up. So I just explained to them, I was like, hey, I was using this tool, it broke, and it's not going to be included in the video now because of this reason. And they're like, okay, we get it. And I was like, but yeah, the other items that were included with said like mystery box, I guess, were pretty good products. But I was like, there's no way. Like, this isn't how this works. I'm like, come on. But that was a fun one.
I'll do the clothing stuff, but if you send me a wrench, it's pointless. I wish I could be more handy. I just have no patience. My wife said it best way up there is there's a lot of foul language. If I have an electric screwdriver, I had to put like a cabinet together in my carport. Whole day, just dripping sweat, drilling, and I'm like, no, this isn't for me. Where's a bike shop?
Yeah.
Bike shop. I can't. I really. There we go. Josh, you
You know, I keep seeing those comments.
have you thought about that? Because Mike here has a second. He may have a third channel we don't know about. It might be about growing plants or something.
I got Chicken Sendies and Chicken Grindies.
Oh,
Chicken
first
shreddies
right here on my podcast.
Chicken kick flippers.
Yeah, there you go. Chicken shreddies.
Yeah.
That was good.
Chicken Sendies, chicken Look at
saw
this
the
guy with
comments
his
on it.
toys.
By the way, yeah, this is my Inferno. It is a fire truck. Thank you very much. And it is a Autobot transformer. You know, the funny thing is,
now.
before this live feed, before it started, Johnny's like, "What's that behind you?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's my baby Groot and my transformer." just
Let's play a little game. What's in front of you or behind you, Mike? He just had a transformer.
I just have bikes. I don't have any.
Here you go. How about this one?
Fun.
A little Rocket Raccoon. We were talking about Legos. A little Rocket Raccoon Lego set.
I got Tinkering Cyclist stuff here.
There you go.
Dude, Tinkering Cyclist is so freaking talented, man. That stuff he makes is wild. Here it is.
Wild. There.
I got.
If you're listening on this, look at that. We got. What are you doing, Mike?
I got a kazoo.
I got none of that stuff.
This is the worldwide Cutler and kazoos. If you ever watched that April Fool's video, this was the kazoos that Worldwide Cycling was selling, and I bought one.
See, my wife just says she wants to play at Josh's house. Mike has all the bikes, but we have all the toys.
It's true.
I've got my desk is just chock full of Tinkering Cyclist, bottle opener. I don't know if you're aware of his stuff, Mike.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, so Mike's like, what did I get myself into? Yeah. I'm trying to be serious here as a mountain bike creator.
No, not by any long shot.
Like a Captain Planet.
Okay, you lost me on that.
Josh, you would get along with the guy that I work right next to, who has every action figure in his cubicle. It's unreal how many.
He sounds like my kind of guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You'd probably be over there nerding out all about it, and he would love it.
Yeah,
I look at the stuff and I just don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about the Marvel stuff or DC stuff.
So, I used to manage GameStops back in the day before I went back to got my paramedic and stuff.
Oh, wow. I hope you hold on to stuff.
I definitely don't play video games nearly as much as I used to, but it's still something I do enjoy to do. But yeah, the Marvel Universe, all that silly Pokemon, whatever, anything that's cheesy and corny, I probably enjoy and like. So
yeah. I used to play a lot of video games, but I literally sold all of my video games and bought a bike. That's how I got. That's how I got into biking. Like I sold all my PlayStation stuff and all that, and bought a road bike.
Wow!
Hey, your wife's calling you out, Johnny.
Yeah. Well. Oh, I popped the wrong one up. I might have popped my sister's leaving. I gotta go by. I didn't see that one. I hope you held on to the stock with the GameStop.
No, that was actually after my time. I was manager there 13 years ago, give or take. It'd been a bit now. So
yeah, I can't keep up with the Marvel. I fell off. I didn't even watch the End Game. I used to be a movie critic, but once I can't keep up with all the superhero stuff. There's too much.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And Star Wars, forget about it. Star Wars, when I grew up, that's Star Wars. Everything else is just filler. I'm sorry if I made some enemies saying that.
I feel odd because I feel like I should know more about this stuff being a software developer, because everybody I work with knows all about Star Wars and all the they're all comic book fans and all that stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I like bikes.
Yeah, I was going to say you're too busy creating content. My hat's off to both of you guys for creating so much more. I've really got to drill in some time, carve out some time in my life to keep, because I really love obviously you guys still really love doing this, right? It's not like, oh, I got to do it for my fans.
No.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I enjoy it. There are times where you feel burnout,
Yeah.
But
it's a real thing.
Like the other night, I shot an entire thing out here in my garage, went in the house, had dinner, and was like, that was junk. Shot it all over again because I was
man.
I didn't seem like I enjoyed it. And I was like, I just need to have an attitude check and realize that this is for fun. And recorded it again. And my second recording was so much better because my attitude was better. So there's moments where you kind of get bummed about it and you're like, oh, or somebody's mean to you on the internet, or you don't get as many views and you're like, why am I doing this? And then you just have to have a reality check of like, if I would have stopped 3 years ago, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So
yeah, I mean, you said burnout is a real thing. I stopped after the beginning of December. Afterwards, I was starting to feel, and I don't even put out as much content, but it gets to be a lot sometimes. You're like, I've got life. The holidays are coming up, and
the crazy thing for me is like I typically have an idea of like what I want to record and what I want to do video wise. And there's at one point in time I'll be sitting on 4 or 5 videos ready to upload, and then another week I'll be like, man, I have nothing ready to upload. Like, what do I need to do? It's just so funny how it works.
Yeah, but you don't feel that pressure. Ace Bike Media in the house. Thanks a lot, guys.
Ace Bike, nice.
Currently burned out. Yeah, it's a thing, man.
I get it. And like for instance, the video that's coming out tomorrow, that wasn't planned this week. I was burned out on the topic that I was trying to create, and I've been working on it for a few weeks, and I was just like, forget it. I'm not even going to put time into the video that I wanted to put out this week. And because I knew that it wasn't going to be, I wasn't feeling it. So I switched topics and was like, I'm going to create this, and created something different.
Yep.
So
I've learned
the
shorts. Like if I can't get a video uploaded for some reason, sometimes I'll use shorts as fillers. Yeah. And like, I still love the funness of a short, and I love the creativity I can have in like a 10 to 20 second period. And I still get the interaction and activity with subscribers and things, which I mean, still makes me feel better about the situation if I did miss an upload or something. So that really helps a lot for me. So
yeah, I'll throw in a short, something goofy, something hits my head, like I'm in the shower with some bike cleaning stuff or something stupid, just to keep that algorithm going. I hate though. I don't know if you guys feel this as much as me. I'll post it on Instagram and YouTube at the same time. Thousands of views on Instagram, 48 on YouTube.
Yeah, you just don't know what it's going to do. Yeah. Yeah, you never know. Like I'll post one on, all the platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and it'll do good on one platform. And the others, it's like, did they even see it? Like you can't predict the algorithm. It's weird.
Oh, and that's a funny thing. I was talking about this, Brian. I posted a video of me falling, 11,000 views.
Ain't it funny how that works? Dude, people getting hurt. If you get hurt, they love it.
I did nothing. And then I'll post something where I actually wrote a script. I got like costume changes. I've got teeth in my face, whatever. And you don't even break 100.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Mr. and Mrs. Algorithm. I'm going to toot my own horn. I'm a silly human being. And some of my stuff I spent a lot of time on, and I think I'm like gold.
Yeah.
40 views.
Yeah.
I use my pillow to soak up the tears at night.
You say, get ready, honey. I'm going to be famous. We're going to buy a mansion.
It's going to happen tonight.
So yeah, I did that.
The crickets in the background.
I did that one video where because I've been seeing a lot of videos of like, and I get ideas, and it was just like, hey, this is Josh from Chicken Sendies, and I'm going to tell you how I made my content channel blow up in a week. And then the next one's just be like, yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing, and it definitely didn't do that.
Didn't do it.
And then like that video does good, and I'm like, I don't like any of you.
Yeah,
you never know what happens with this stuff.
It's definitely tricky. Like there's times that I'll post something that's like 4 or 5 seconds long on a short, and it'll do amazing. And then the next one I'll be like, all right, that's the ticket, really short. So people watch it multiple times and it hits like 300% view rate. And then that one will get like 50 views. And you're like, what? Why did the other one get like 100,000? Like what?
Yeah. I think I'm just going to start falling purposely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you think you're going to fall, is this Ace Bike Meet? Is this Andy or Colin? I think it's, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to fall more often. Guys, it's getting to, you got family. It's getting to that point. I'm not ending it right this very second, but again, thank you so much.
Yeah.
What are you guys could you guys collaborate at some point? Is there maybe a time when we can look forward to that?
Yeah. I mean,
I need a date. I need a date on this channel right now. No, I'm just kidding.
January 4th at noon. Sound good?
Where are we going?
You
gotta go to Ironton. They're probably open.
Yeah.
Let's just go and hit it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about doing something this last summer, but our schedules never really got together. But definitely want to do something.
And we're not really that far from each other, though. That's the thing. Like what, 5 or 6 hours, like tops, I think.
Yeah,
like if that, we're not super far.
Far. That's like full day.
So, I think for us, I think it'd be best if we just both met like at Bentonville or something like that. Honestly, I think that's what.
I agree. That's really close to me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Bentonville's like a 7.5 hour drive for me, which isn't terrible. But I mean, I get an Airbnb for the weekend and hang out. And the crazy part, I didn't go to Bentonville at all last year, which that's the first time in my entire biking career that I've not been at all.
Yeah.
So just again, like I shared earlier, though, the amount of overtime I've worked last year because of work and us being short was just wild. I just didn't have the opportunities to ride like I wanted to. So
Mike, you were at Bentonville Fest.
Yeah, not recommended.
But we didn't see you.
Yeah, I didn't like the crowd. Let's be honest. I personally, I am not, and this is nothing against people who want to be in the crowd. I'm not a showboater. I don't want to be in front of a camera in front of people. Like it's hard enough for me to be in front of a camera period. And I go down to Bentonville mainly for like just riding with friends and things like that, enjoying the outdoors. And whenever so many people there and like so much stuff going on, it was just like being in a shopping mall during Black Friday. It was like
too much.
It just wasn't my style. And
I would almost want to go early.
Yeah.
To ride and then just walk around and hang out actually during the festival.
That'd probably be the best solution because it was so crowded. Like it was unreal. It was overbearing for me. I was like, no, thanks.
I went to the Baker's Creek Fall Fest a couple months ago. Sadly, one of my good buds who was riding with me got severely injured while we were there. But it's even a smaller like style of like Fall Fest. But even for that, I was kind of the same way, honestly. I saw some content creators and I said hey to them and stuff and talked, which was really cool. But like I just kind of wanted to ride. Like I had no drive to pull out my camera, and like I got a couple shorts on the pump track and stuff out there, which Baker's Creek is absolutely phenomenal. The trail system out there and all that is just amazing. The jump line is so fun. But like I wasn't one to be like, hey, here I am with all these people and stuff. And I was just kind of like, man. But some really cool pictures and some great, man, I had some great riding, but met some great people, though. That was the thing. I mean, it was a terrific trip. But even for it, though, but yeah, it was just kind of like almost overwhelming for me. Like I didn't want to like be there recording in front of people and with people almost. So I just got trail footage and just did that kind of a thing for myself, which I enjoyed too. So
yeah, and I get that. I get that there's people that love that type of stuff and they have that personality. But for me, I've got several friends down in Bentonville that like Cobra Kyle. He's one of my buds down there. I meet up with him and he shows me around all the trails, and that's more fun than doing the whole getting a big crowd thing for me.
Oh, and the chaos. I would like it just for the opportunity to meet people, to get them on the show. But again, what you say, like I watched the videos and I'm like, is it even fun? Like, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I get it.
Where it was at?
We're mountain biking, we're having fun, but it seemed like you said, it's like rush hour.
Yeah, it was all at Kohler, like the Kohler Trail system. That was super crowded. So if you got outside of Kohler, like we went over to Slaughter Pen, which is just right down the trail from it.
Yeah.
And it was busy, but it was busy compared to a normal day, but it wasn't so busy that you thought an event was going on.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Cause I'm thinking about it this year, just to help this channel get some people on. But Colin says Baker's is nuts or sick.
That was the first time I've been to Baker's, and I was very impressed. I mean, it was awesome. Just the different brands that came out and the companies that are there with their bikes so you could try. And I mean, the people were awesome. You see some people on dirt jumpers doing some really cool tricks out there. I mean, it was awesome. But like I said, though, I mean, we went to I think it was Devil's Racetrack is the one that my bud got hurt on. He ended up going too fast, and these were pretty big tables. I mean, they're probably 10, 12 foot wide. They were large and in charge, and we were clipping. I mean, we were going fast, and he overshot and ended up breaking. I think it was 6 ribs in 8 places. Wow! His ulna and radia broke both of them. Had a concussion. I mean, it was bad. Like it was really bad. It's Subpar Single Track is who we were with. Dude from around I think it's Indianapolis is where he lives, so he's pretty close to me. But he tagged along with us, and I was right behind him. And I mean, I was like looking, and I thought I saw a bike flip in the air. And I'm like, oh crap! Whoa. And I came around I've not posted any videos or anything of it because I have some stuff, but I was waiting for him, and we were talking about different things and stuff. But I mean, he's still healing, and I mean, ended up having to get surgery. And I mean, I got over that hill and I saw him, and I was like, oh, this is not good. But at least I'm a paramedic, so I could help him and kind of got him out of there safely. So I guess that's a benefit of riding with me. But I don't like doing that kind of stuff when I'm not working. I mean, I have preferences. I just want to ride my bike.
Here's an uncomfortable question, and we'll wrap it up. You two, how did you guys find each other? How has this relationship happened? Yeah, I give up with all this finger and pointing to the wall. But how did this happen? You guys wanted to get together. I mean, was it one thing about each other's channel that got you guys into it, or are you just similar personalities? I don't know. I don't know. You guys are both like really nice human beings. That's why I love you guys so much. But what was it about you two that kind of gravitated towards each other?
I don't remember even whenever I first discovered Chicken Sendies.
Oh, wow.
AKA Josh. But the thing that I like about him is he just seems genuine, nice guy, really friendly. And I have met people that are online personalities that in real life, they weren't the friendly people that they display. But you can tell based off of who he is and how he acts and what he posts about is that he's genuinely a good, kind person who cares about his family and the people around him. And that's a big draw for me.
I really appreciate that, man. And, honestly, the first time I heard about you was because of Johnny. Because you were I was first and then you were second, right? For the interview. Yeah. And you reached out to me. I don't remember if you remember this for the giveaway build, and you sent me a crank set.
Oh yeah.
So you forgot about that. So he actually sent me a crank set. I was doing a subscriber build for a bike giveaway, and it was the Kent Travails what I was giving away. And he reached out to me. He's like, "I want to be part of this." And even before that, we kind of talked a little bit, and then I kind of learned that you lived pretty close to me. So like he said, we've planned to getting together because I know it's just going to be a fun, awesome time. Mm-hmm. But for you not knowing me at all and being willing to send me a crank set to put on a bike for a giveaway, I mean, that was huge to me. And that just kind of screamed what kind of a person you are, which is a caring, giving person who wants to help and willing to help other people, which is exactly the kind of people I like to surround myself with. So I just love that. And I thought that was pretty cool. So, but it's also nice because the three of us have each other's personal accounts on Facebook. So we kind of see each other's lives and what we do post and things like that. We get to see each other's beautiful families and all the boat pictures Johnny posts and reminds me I'm in Illinois, not in Florida, which is that's besides the point. No, and I mean, biking has introduced so many just genuine people to me in my life. And it's pretty cool. Cause I mean, like I had skateboarding, which I love skateboarding, but a lot of skaters are pretty flaky, don't get me wrong, but it's just cool to have just a really nice bike family of like, even though you guys live far from me, it's like if I needed to reach out to you guys over something, you'd be there and you'd be willing to help me. And it was kind of weird when I had a transition in my life to where I got more Merry Christmases and stuff like that from YouTube friends than I did from like real friends. I was like, what is this?
It is really weird. The community that I've joined by doing this, and you guys were the first two to start this out, but it really has been like I've found a lot of good friends through this. Mark Hill from the segment being one. I mean, we text each other almost daily. Brian from Brian on a Bike and Aaron, his wife from B&E MTB, and you guys, and just, I mean, it's a countless.
Yeah.
I can't count them all. It's amazing how many interactions. Mia, Eric Ryden, Dirty, Brett. I could name, it's too much to name. Yeah. But you know who you are. And it's just, it's a fantastic community once you join it. Like I was a little bit nervous because I came from being a movie critic and I didn't know where I belonged here. I knew I wanted to interview people because this is what I love to do. I love to talk to people, but I think I found something.
Yeah.
And I love being able to bring people together.
You got to give yourself a lot of credit for that because
for sure.
you have been very, very persistent about posting interviews and getting to know people. And that, to me, that is an extremely challenging thing for me to do, for you to actually reach out to people that you don't know and sit down and take the time to talk to them and get to know what they put a lot of these content creators put their heart and soul in this stuff. And for somebody to recognize them for what they're doing, it's encouraging. It keeps them going, keeps you going. And then you just build these really good friendships and you have a base of biking around it, which is awesome already. So
I remember whenever you sent the email to me, it was 3 years ago now. Is that right? I mean, right at
2.5, something like that.
2.5. Yeah. I remember getting the email and I was like, I know who this dude is. And I was like, why does he want me? Like, but then I watched a video and you're interviewing Hugh Jackman. I'm like, this dude knows Hugh Jackman. I was like, I need to talk to this guy. He knows Wolverine.
You guys were the first two that I threw it out there, and now let's blow some sunshine up your alls, whatever. But I reached out to Josh right away because I found him he put in Bash Guard, whatever. But just as Mike said, a very genuine, friendly guy. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's what I need for my first one. I need someone that seems genuine. I don't know. I guess everyone is genuine. Once you create something, you've got your little niche. You start being genuine. I didn't even know how to do it at first. Like, I didn't know how the mountain bike community would react to my way of doing things. Hey folks, Johnny, you here from Mountain Bike Q&A about to get, that's how I always introduced my movie reviews. But I remember my first one with what I did with Josh. I was like, hi everybody, this is Johnny from Mountain Bike Q&A. Real calm. I wish I gotta find it. But I'm like, I have Josh from Mountain Bike. And then it finally hit me. I'm like, just be you. Kind of like you guys were. And Mike was doing some stuff. Again, very kind human being, and ended up being that way. So it was funny to find you guys right off the bat, and you said yes. So I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart for starting this. It's your fault.
Take blame. No problem. Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, the mountain biking community to me is one of the friendliest. Like, I've been part of road biking and running and all that stuff, and I would say the mountain biking and trail running communities are probably the most welcoming amongst all those type of sports. There's less, I guess I should say there's less elitism in those, in the stuff you go out into the woods and do trail stuff.
Yeah. We're all here to support each other. That's what my wife loves it. She goes, it's like her teeth hurt after watching this stuff because everyone's like so sweet. I mean, like Nick and Katie, majority of their friends are from the community.
So I'll share this real quick, and it kind of piggybacks off what Mike was just sharing. So like, I'll roll up to a skate park and not know a single person. And what I'm going to say probably won't mean anything to you, but anybody who skateboards will be like, oh man, that's how you skate. I skate goofy and I push Mongo. So anytime someone sees me, anytime someone sees me show up to a skate park and I get on my skateboard and they see me skating goofy and then pushing Mongo, they automatically think I'm trash. Straight up. And they're like, I had someone tell me the other day at the skate park, he's like, I think you're the best Mongo skater I've ever seen. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment, but thank you.
Yeah. Now I have another thing whenever we meet up for the first time. That's what I'm going to say.
So when I go to a bike park, though, like they can't, like sometimes you'll look at a bike, but they'll see my bike and they won't be like, oh man, that guy's terrible because of the bike he's riding. Like they'll wait and see what you can do. But once someone at a skate park, you know, and it's just like differentiating the different things I do. It's like, it's so funny when I roll up to a skate park and someone doesn't know me, but then I go to a mountain bike park or somewhere that someone doesn't know me, and it's all automatically like, hey, what's up, man? How are you? And we're like friends right away. But like we're at the skate park, you have to like prove yourself.
You got to prove yourself. And hey, Zach, sorry you're late, buddy. You know what? We're still having fun. Thanks for joining in. Back to the community and stuff like that. First off, the people that aren't riding goofy are riding goofy. I ride goofy. I skate goofy footed, and that to me is the right way of doing it. Calvin, you couldn't say it any better here. I feel like I owe everybody who's did it Zoom wise before I went live. I should just have you all back on because I love this live interaction. I think you guys enjoy it too, seeing the community coming in and showing love and asking and being a part of it. This is what I love about this. What is it, the people that keep you going, or is it the creative outlet that keeps you going? What keeps you guys wanting to YouTube? Because I know you're not all becoming rich off it yet. Yeah.
For me, it's definitely the people. Like if I can help somebody and like I get that like comment of, hey, thank you, this was helpful. Like that really means a ton to me. Like I know I'm not the best bike mechanic in the world, but I have a pretty good general understanding of how bikes work, how to build them up, how to properly get them shifting and things like that. So if I can share just a little bit of my knowledge to help somebody, that's pretty rewarding in itself for me. So that's for me why I do it. I just love that aspect of being able to help people really for like just a little bit of my time and upload it. And now it's there for years, which is pretty cool. So
yeah. And for me, I would say it's the creative part of it. I've always been somebody who wants to tinker with things. I had a GoPro camera when they first came out, had no idea what I was going to do with it. Didn't post anything, didn't do any of that. But I just like the technology that comes along with video creating. And I love the bike stuff. And so being able to combine that and come up with something that's like, hey, this was absolutely nothing. It was just a whole bunch of video clips of me doing random things. And I put it together and it actually made sense. It's a lot of fun.
And your editing, like whenever you get your video together and I watch your videos, they're very cool. Like, I mean, like the transitions you do, the music you pick, the different like ways that you will edit your videos is always very impressive to me. The shots you do with like in the dark with the light on and things like that. It's very cool and impressive. And like, I could think to do something like that in my head, but I don't think I can do it. And then I watch your videos. I'm like, man, that's so cool. I'm a shooting talk guy. And I usually just have a video that I like chop and put it on and then good to go.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Mike, you know, now I've seen both of you guys I've watched you guys grow as a channel. And so Mike, I remember you said when you first started doing this, you were doing it on your iPad,
iPhone, everything. Editing.
You've upgraded.
Yeah, not. I haven't upgraded to the level of what you'd think like some of the other channels that you see out there do with like $3,000 cameras and all that stuff. Yeah. I have, along with my budget bikes, I have a budget camera, but it does what I need it to do, and I utilize the equipment to the best of my abilities. And I think the biggest upgrade for me was my Sony camera, and it's not a fancy Sony camera at all. And it was scary to upgrade to that. I don't know what cameras you guys are using, but I knew nothing about cameras. I used an iPhone the entire time, point and shoot. Yeah, the iPhones are amazing. I still do all my slow-mo with the iPhone.
I have a Sony ZV-1 is what I use.
Okay, let me write this down.
Yeah, I have a ZV. E10
Dude,
something. I
terrific
don't know.
camera.
Yeah,
Terrific for the price.
It's really nice.
This is
Scary
funny.
when I first got it.
I've said this before on this channel, and I hope my bosses aren't watching. No, they know. I shoot professionally for a television station. Most of my B-roll is off of this. I can get wide, I can get tight, I can get into little spaces where my big camera, I got a Sony FX9.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic E&G camera, but I mean, I guess I should look at your little Sonys there, maybe upgrade.
Well, what's really nice about the new iPhone, because I just got one of the new ones this year. I'm not trying to promote iPhones, but I think other phones do this too. But they have an action mode now, which stabilizes it. It's basically what the GoPro does, but you get really nice footage. So you can put it in 60 frames a second and have stabilization, and you can slow your shots down if you're doing like B-roll. It's really nice, especially for the bike reviews I do, because I'm like shaky or whatever.
You're like, there's the handlebars.
Yeah.
I'm on my fourth
but you put
it,
you put it in action mode and you put it in slow motion. It looks really smooth. It's like, wow, that's neat. So.
All right. I'm done with you guys. All right. Take care.
Goodbye.
What can we expect for 2024 from Chicken Sendies and RUNBIKEMIKE? Are you guys taking different directions, or do you have something we can look forward to soon? Quick. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Let's start with you, Mike.
Okay. I want to do, and some people may hate me for this, but I want to do more gravel bike stuff. I have a very specific thing in mind that I don't really want to say much about it because I don't know if it'll actually work out. But yeah, I want to do more gravel bike stuff, but I also want to do more stuff on like my XC bike, and I want to feature my e-mountain bike a little bit more. I would love to try to get involved more with my local club, the Mork, this club right here. That's who I didn't really do this for them, but I did that trail video where I did the route for the race. They have several races throughout the year that I would love to like do the pre-race footage for them. And then that way people can watch that. That's just fun to me. That's like, to me, whenever I did that and I made that video, it sounds so crazy because it's just POV footage. I had so much fun because it was so different from the content that I create all the time. The production value was like, I put a camera on my chest and I ride really fast and talk, and that's it. And I post it instead of like transitions and music and all that stuff.
Script
it was fun. It was just like, I actually enjoyed, like, to the core, I enjoyed that aspect. So I'd like to do a little bit more of those.
I'd say
it's your turn now.
Yeah, I'd say for Chicken Sendies, I would really like to get more into, which this is kind of what like I've been thinking of in my head, is just getting more into the budget stuff again, but with more the aspect of like tools and using them.
Yes.
If you do any kind of bike stuff, you learn that you get in over your head pretty quick with the appropriate tool, what kind of bottom bracket you have, that kind of stuff. And I know Park Tool has a ton of terrific stuff. But the problem with Park Tool, I shouldn't say problem, because quality parts come with a quality price or quality tools. But some people can't afford the blue label. I mean, it's realistic. I mean, it's unrealistic for some people to be able to buy a $150 tool that they may only use once. I don't want to do necessarily comparisons to that, but if there's a budget option that will work, that's something I'd like to do a lot. And Rich and I have been discussing quite a bit about doing more of a in-depth like This Is Griffin Bike Park series. So we've done trail showcases, but we've never really like have stopped and like set up a tripod with the camera and discussed the features, how big they are, what kind of speed you need, and breaking them down, and kind of turning it more into like a lesson on how to actually hit features that are at Griffin, but you can still utilize at other different locations, if that makes sense. I guess more like how-tos is what I'm really going to start like aiming towards. But of course, right now with the weather, it's kind of hard to do that here in the wonderful state of Illinois.
So it's funny that you mentioned the tool thing, Josh, and we may have to like figure out a way to collab, because I've got some ideas that I've been kicking around. But so that the inexpensive tool stuff, I think, is a huge a huge thing because, like you said, I mean, park tools are really nice, and I have, I have some park tool stuff, but the majority of my tools are cheap, so that's pretty cool. We may have to talk.
Oh, for sure, I'd love
to. But the other thing, like you're talking about doing features about your trail system around. I think if you do that type of stuff, you may find things that I have found whenever I've featured whole trail systems on my channel. You'll have people that will eventually come up to you and say, I moved to this area because of the videos you made for the trail.
That's awesome.
I didn't think there would be trails here, and I saw the trails because of your videos, and it made me make the decision to move there. I've had at least 3 people tell me that in my time that I've been doing YouTube. And that's like, whoa, that was like one of your deciding factors into moving. That's awesome.
That's pretty wild.
Wow. That's crazy. I moved here because of your video.
No, because of the trail.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to talk to your realtor and take 1% of whatever house you purchased.
Yeah.
That's my sale.
I need part of that contract, please.
I got to do more. I'm going to do more of this. I actually have, I have a series that I want to come up with. There's a lot of trails down here that I haven't ridden because I'm 8 miles from Virginia Key. Why am I going to spend an hour and a half driving to another trail? That's 3 hours of driving just away from my wife and dogs. So I'm actually thinking about throwing out more, not that you want to watch me ride, but showcasing.
Yeah,
I do.
Showcasing. No, if you talk to Brian on a bike, you don't want to watch me ride. I just think it's neat. Like there's trails down here that don't get the love, and there's not a lot. There are creators down here. What's that noise?
It's not me.
Sorry, it's my wife messaging me over my daughter who is currently in the hospital.
Yeah, I'm a squirrel. A squirrel.
No, you're good. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. But yeah, I think I'm going to grow a little bit more. And you guys, I want to thank you because you inspire me to want to grow more on this. It's a hobby, but I want to see the hobby become more.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure that's how you felt about it. I knew it was going to be easy. You guys are so incredible.
How many questions did we answer of yours?
I don't think he answered any of them.
Mission accomplished. Yes.
If that's what you were planning on.
We did it. This is the Josh and Mike takeover.
No, I love it. I just get to sit back here and I get the views.
This is great.
Hey, we're going to do the interview now. You stop.
Fine by me. I'm not good at this anyway.
Oh, no, you're great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Prayers for your daughter, Zach.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I can't thank you guys enough for not just coming on tonight, but for your continued support in this little thing that I'm doing here, that I'm trying to grow. And I appreciate, wow, I'm getting all serious sounding.
Yeah,
like my voice just dropped a little bit. I just want to thank you guys for being a part of this stupid little podcast that I'm doing. No, really, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, man, you guys are the best. I hope someday I'll be able to do some laps with you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll make it happen.
I appreciate your time. Appreciate you guys sharing the screen with each other tonight.
Yeah,
anytime.
We've been wanting to do
room
this
for
a
Mike.
while, I think. So
we've
been. Go ahead.
No, I think I literally could have clicked myself out today, and you guys would have. You didn't need me. You guys are just incredible YouTubers. You know that. I don't need to tell you anymore. No more sunshine.
We need you, Johnny.
I don't think you're as much like mortar as you think. Like you're a pretty big mortar to this. Like without you, like not like there's a ton that you've done in the mountain bike community that you don't realize with us getting to know people and meet people. You've done more than I think you realize.
I wasn't fishing, man.
You just keep fishing. I mean,
tell me more about how good I am. No, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I'm gonna let you guys get back to your family. We already talked about what? Okay, dumb guy. I'll stop. I can't believe you guys put up with me. I love you guys so much for it. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh and Mike, Chicken Sendies, RUNBIKEMIKE. If you can or you haven't yet, please like and subscribe their stuff and my stuff. Thank you guys all in the comment section for taking your time out tonight to watch three goofballs get together. I really appreciate it. So now, if you can, go get your bikes dirty.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Everyone take care.